Good morning, everybody. And here comes the Daverhood with me, Dave Lefkowitz, and a brand new edition of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Radio Programmio, Showio. I'm still working on that. After all these months, I'm still trying to work on how to get that out. But anyway, the important thing is I'm here. You're here. We're going to invite some friends to join us. We have a special guest, and a lot of fun. So it's the Dave's Gone By program, and I guess you know, of course, that it always starts with this particular bit of nonsense and music.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. There goes the Daverhood.
And there was much rejoicing.
Didn't your meds kick in yet?
We got David Lefkowitz here. He's a Long Island arts guy. He's got his own radio show.
I want you all to really enjoy a wonderful program done by a fine artist.
A glorious thing of unparalleled beauty.
Dave's Gone By. Dave is one of my very favorite broadcasters, so keep on listening to Mr. Dave.
Two flamingos in a fruit fight.
Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, who will join us momentarily, and of course, all of you watching on Facebook or listening later in the archives on Facebook or on my own website, davesgoneby.com. We're going to have a very cool show for you today. We're calling it Look Sharp. Ooh, look sharp. I love how the colors just go from very, very warm to very cool, and I'm like this. Kind of weird because I've got no extra color here. Probably should have put up some other bit of color because it's freaking me out a little bit. But anyway, welcome to Jay, our friend of the Daverhood, a director. Jay, you're definitely going to want to tune into this because we have a director on the program, a fellow named Kim Sharp. And Kim Sharp was the associate artistic director of Off-Broadway's Abingdon Theater Company for, I think, about 16 years, or he started as literary manager, then moved up into the associate director position. He's now just a freelance director, and he's going to be staging a show at Urban Stages over the next couple of weeks. So thanks, J.O., for tuning in. And Janine, of course, and Robert, and Gina, and I've already missed a couple of people. Tina tuned in. Janine says good night from Las Vegas. Wow, you must have had a very late evening gambling there because it's, of course, even in Vegas, it's only going to be 8 in the morning, right? Oh, no, excuse me, no. 5 a.m. is still sort of nighttime. I can't keep track. I still think sometimes I'm in Colorado, but no, we're here on Long Island doing the Dave's Gone By show just as we started 16 and a half years ago when we were on a Long Island terrestrial radio station, 11 o'clock at night, Sunday nights. Now we're here Saturday mornings from 7 until 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 to 11 Eastern Time. Thanks for somebody else give me a thumbs up. Who was it? Well, thank you. Thank you for the thumbs up and the hearts and all that sort of thing. Oh, and Janine says, yeah, it's 6 a.m. That makes sense in Vegas. Oh, Janine, what were you doing in Las Vegas all evening long? I mean, it's not a G-rated show, so feel free to, and do you have any money left and are you sleeping on the streets? But no, we're right here. Kim T. Sharp will be the guest. My head is bouncing all over this morning, but Kim T. Sharp is directing a show called The Way We Get By, and it's going to be running from the end of March until mid-April at Urban Stages, right in the heart of Manhattan, West 30th Street. Oh, Janine, we're having just this private conversation here. Janine has been watching the NCAA basketball championships, which, because these are college kids, you want them to be up at 3, 4, 5 in the morning celebrating. I mean, this is what college is all about. It's don't know where I'm going with that. Oh, I think I do know where I'm going with that. I'll be talking to my wife certainly about colleges later. But thank you, Janine and Joyce. Just catch you later. Well, thanks, Janine. Thanks for tuning in for the first 3 minutes of the program. You're going to miss Kim Sharp. You're going to miss Greeley Crimes and Old Times, which we take from the Greeley Tribune, of phone calls that come into the Greeley and Weld County Police Departments, as well as stories from the newspaper literally 100 years ago. So, sorry, Kim, you're going to miss that. And you're going to miss Storytime with more of New Jersey. And what else? You're gonna, a Colorado Limerick of the Damned, which will be all about Golden, Colorado today. And, of course, Inside Broadway. We'll be talking some theater news for you. And also, I'll be reviewing a couple of shows, including the review that lasted a week called Chick Flick. Won't be spending a whole bunch of time on that, and the big revival of My Fair Lady, which has been playing for several months now, but recently they got a new cast member in there. The lead actress is different, and so I'm going to go review My Fair Lady on Broadway at Lincoln Center just a little while from now. Janine says, Dave, I am not in college. No, but I assume, Janine, that you were watching the NCAA championships, and the only reason to be up late would be that probably the games went on until well past midnight. Otherwise, why did you not go to sleep last night, Janine? Unless you were watching basketball or you bet and won, because you're now in that thing where they do the March Madness and the 16 things, and there's people. There's some multi-millionaires, is it Warren Buffett or one of the other guys, where he's offering his employees only $1 million if they get the bracket of the 16 teams that make it to the finals. Is that the deal? Is he's going to give them $1 million if they win, or if they select all 16 teams, which apparently the odds of doing that are less than winning tens of thousands of dollars in the regular lottery. Anywho, it's Janine says I work 16 hours per day. Kind of like me. BS? What? Okay, Janine. Oh, Janine's getting mad now. All right, what did I say wrong? BS. And what do you do 16 hours a day? Are you a croupier? Sorry, I've got the croup in my throat here. I'm just curious. Now we're waiting on Janine. Come on, Janine, you're part of the show now. What do you do 16 hours a day at in Vegas? The money. No. He put that out there. Apparently, he's offering $1 million, but not to anybody. It has to be an employee of the company that he runs who gets the 16 blah blah. I don't know from college basketball. Don't care about college basketball.
I mean, listen.
Yeah.
I had to do a watch party thing. I don't know.
Louder, so they can. Yeah.
They changed to invite people, so I did some kind of watch party thing.
Yeah.
So I made a special watch party for your show, and I invited people. I don't know what I did, but I kept clicking on people to invite.
Because this is a party right here that Janine has joined us. We're having a convo with Janine, who is a registered nurse clinician in private practice. So Janine, I've got this
to ask her
thing on my neck.
What insurance does she accept?
That's right. Do you take Anthem? Do you take Do you take National Anthem?
Well,
but not the American one.
Ask her if she'll swap. Ask her what's wrong with Potato's eyes.
Oh, see, we have potatoes here. Of course, I can even lift up the screen. You can see some of the potatoes that we have who join us every week here in the Daverhood. But this one, I don't know if it's conjunctivitis or tuberculosis. His eyes are just really, it's a kind of a sad thing going on here. We're kind of wondering what to do with potato. Jane, do you have any, well, it's not ophthalmologist.
Medical opinion.
Do you have a medical opinion about the eyes? Just wondering. And not these extra eyes, but I'm talking about the main ones.
Ask her about chicken's eyes, too.
Well, apparently we have some terrible eye thing going on in our family, because Joyce got this week. Tell us about this, my dear.
He's a mesmerized chicken.
Yes. Where'd you find it?
At the 99-cent store that cost $1.29. I'm gonna get you the big one this week if I go to see my mom.
Oh, yes. So anyway, Joyce finds this in a store. There's no packaging. There's no...
It was in like a cardboard box.
Yeah.
In a cardboard box that had a bunch of images. It was blue. It had like a flat bottom with a bunch of chicken stuck in it, and then it had some kind of writing. I don't know.
But we've been looking for it. We've been able to find pictures of him. One or two on her. Oh, what makes you... Well,
it's a hen. It's a chicken. Yeah.
That's right. It's not a huge cock. It's just a hen. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And it makes noise. Listen to this. Oh, what a beautiful thing, folks. Now, one of the things we read about this is that it's not a pooping chicken, but you can fill it almost like a piñata with goodies. But no, it doesn't. It's not like that.
Yeah, but he has like a button.
Oh, Claudia from my high school journey. It does have. Look at this. This is the greatest thing ever. It has a vagina filled with jelly.
That's the back.
Oh.
That's the back.
That's right. And they make chickens very differently.
See what's in there.
There's a hen giant. No, it'll never come out. They're jelly beans.
Let me see.
Look at that.
Wow.
This is the most magnificent thing, ladies and gentlemen.
They're pretty ones.
It's a hypnotized chicken with jelly beans in it. Jane says it's got Salvador Dali type eyes, but this is more like if you ever see the Wallace and Gromit movie or the
like a mesmer.
Yeah, where the what do you call it? The chicken is in prison and his cellmate is the angry psychotic dog. Yeah,
it's like a hypnotic trance state.
Yeah. Anywho, it's a beautiful thing. Oh, I don't know if people are giving thumbs up to Wallace and Gromit or to the chicken.
I think they like him. She's very photogenic.
Oh, Janine.
What'd she say?
You know, I was just getting used to talking to her. I was just getting to like her.
Yeah.
And then she says, "It's butt dazzled." Yeah. Yep. This is comedy, ladies and gentlemen. This is comedy.
Imagine what's in the big one.
What? Ooh, yeah.
We knew it had something in the butt because it was wrapped with paper tinfoil.
Yeah, we were wondering because it had, as we said, it had no packaging. It was not in a box. It was not in any kind of wrapping paper, but it had just a little bit of cellophane tape, clear, see-through, wrapped around this. And we're wondering what for. Turns out it's got candy in its ass.
I can only hope that because the man pointed to me, he said, "Look, there's a bigger version of that chicken in the aisle." I said, no, this is big enough. We're going to get the daddy next time you go see her mom. The mother. Well, was it? Chicken.
Do you look like this?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Maybe it won't look like this. This is a beautiful thing.
No, I'm sure it's very similar. Because the man seemed to make some sort of connection to it. So.
Well, anyway, welcome to all these folks who have been tuning in and saying hi, and welcome to the Daverhood, our 690th episode, live on this March 23rd, 2019. We're calling the episode Look Sharp because we've got Kim T. Sharp joining us in just about 15 minutes.
That's exciting. That would be cool.
Oh, we'll be talking to Rabbi Saul.
Do you have all your kit?
Rabbi Saul should be with us. We may need his, I thought I put it here. Oh, Rabbi Saul may need some accoutrements that might be in that drawer there. Oh, dear.
I'll get it. Hold on.
Thank you ever so much. I want to remind you also that we couldn't do this program without the fine folks at Hewlett Minuteman Press, the copy kings of Broadway in Hewlett, Long Island. Here's the deal. I've known these folks for, no, it's not there. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Do you see a blue thing? No. It's fine. It's fine. I'll go grab it because I have to do this. But 516-569-5577 is the number for Hewlett Minuteman Press. I think I see it right there. Pardon me, one moment. It probably fell out of the...
Oh, good one.
Anywho, but is there a pair of glasses in the drawer?
No,
the top
right here. This.
Oh, great. That'd be cool. Oh, yeah, I can use those. I'll go blind. Sorry. Hewlett Minuteman Press, the Torong family has owned and operated that franchise since the 1970s. They're in the heart of Hewlett, Long Island. They're about 2.5 blocks from the LIRR. They're across the street from the big old Petco that they built a couple of years ago. Point is, they do fabulous work. They do black and white, single-sided copies, double-sided copies, color copies, copies
They
on
also do
laminate.
the lambada. They will do the
They will do
if
the
you ask
lambada.
them, they will do the forbidden dance of love with you.
Not during office hours.
Yes,
After hours, they
out
do.
in the plaza. If you take them to the chocolate shop next door, they will.
Oh, you take me to the chocolate shop, I'll start dancing. Yes. But they're really cool people, and they do very, very fine work. And if you tell them Dave sent you, get 10% off any job, big or small. So I've been using them. I mean, I know they're sponsors, so I get a sweet deal. We have an arrangement. But even you guys, you know, for years, even when I've been living away from New York, I used Hewlett Minuteman Press to do a lot of the printing, the copying jobs that I needed because they're great people. They do quality work, reasonable turnaround time. They smell clean. Well, they smell like toner. Essentially, the whole place smells like ink and toner, which is what you ought to.
Because they won't legalize marijuana in New York. If you want to get high, you just
I mean, if you want to go to a place where you can smell fumes that will make your weekend, go to Hewlett Minuteman Press. And also remember that they're known for holiday cards, wedding invitations, as well as silk screening. They can put your company's logo on uniforms, on various items of clothing, on pens and pencil sets, on golf balls, you name it, Hewlett Minuteman Press can do it. 516-569-5577. They are the Copy Kings. And welcome to Rick, and welcome to John, and as I said, Claudia and Janine, and all the cool folks who have tuned in for this very cool episode of Dave's Gone By. So we've got some Greeley crimes and old times, which I'm almost tempted to wait on and do closer to 10 o'clock because the rabbi is going to be coming in about 10 minutes or so to do the interview with Kim Sharp. So why don't we talk, babe? Let's first of all, oh, chicken's not making a noise. There we go. Love that. So would you rather talk about, oh no, don't do, well, that's my deaf ear. You can do it. What's he doing? Oh, yeah. Oh, he's speaking to me. Oh. Sorry, the chicken had a little bit of indigestion there. So I'll give you the, let's talk automation, because this is freaking weird. This is a strange thing.
What are you talking about? Automation?
Someone was just talking, it was probably when I was at the library a day or two ago, about how it's either Walmart or one of these big box
your mom
stores.
Was saying it. They're having a greeter, electronic greeter.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I thought they were stackers. I thought they were
stackers, yeah.
Yeah, they're machines. They don't look like humans yet, but they're robotic.
Because, you know, Walmart has such fair business practices.
But they found a way to make, I mean, it will ultimately render humans superfluous.
Yes.
Apparently, Walmart, in their big stacks and stuff, they get these big machines to lift and put and stack and lift and put and stack.
If it's safer, I'm for it because you know how many injuries probably happen lifting that stuff?
Well, it's always going to be safe. I mean, imagine if you don't need a guy with a crane to lift the box of the guy, but you just have one or two machines doing it,
but
and
usually
some guy
it's like
looking.
the Teamsters. How do the Teamsters feel about this?
They probably have Teamster robots.
You talking to me?
Call my union. Local 804.
I get time and a half.
But
I need workman's comp.
I was goofing on this, and then last night, I mean, coming back from the theater, fairly late-ish at night in New York, and I'm a little bit, A, I'm peckish, and B, I'm thirsty, right? I've got a long walk back from the theater to Penn Station down 8th Avenue. So first thing I want to do, and I'm very happy about this, I go
You always need to carry chestnuts in your pocket.
Yes. Chestnuts roasting near my open thighs would be the
exactly.
But no, I mean, I had a little bit of a snack, but I thought, you know what? I'm hungry. I didn't really have a big dinner. Let me see if I can go for a slice of pizza, right? Like classic New York thing.
Yeah.
So this is interesting.
Oh, God.
Because when you go down 8th Avenue, you pass the two different pizza places.
Yeah.
On one side, you pass the $1 pizza.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where you pass these magnificent places in New York where you get a pretty good slice of pizza in 2019. Nice. And it's literally, you take out $1, you hand the guy $1, and he gives you a nice hot slice of pizza. And then he wipes his butt and he gives you the slice. No, seriously, it's great. And it's not the only place that does it, but there's one.
Yes, it's $2.50 in Queens, but we like the guy who's Sicilian.
There's the best pizza place, I think, in New York is in our neighborhood here on Long Island, but it's $3 plus tax.
agree.
For a regular slice. It's ridiculous.
I agree.
Whereas $1 is pretty damn great. $1 is what you paid for pizza back in the 1980s.
I agree.
So I'm thinking, this is cool. And before you pass it, when you're heading down on 8th, there's the other pizza place that's owned by the same guys. We read about this in the New York Times. They're these two Jewish brothers, I think they are. And they're like, okay, we've been making tons of money on these $1 pizza places.
Leg?
What?
Ole and leg.
Ole and leg. Oleg, got it, yeah. They're on the left leg.
Yes.
They've got I think it's called upscale or upsize.
That means they wash their hands before they serve you.
Yeah. They decided, hey, we've been serving these dollar pizzas. We're very proud of them, and they're doing gangbusters business. Let's open a fancier pizza place.
They have toppings.
Better quality, toppings, better quality, all that sort of thing. A higher end slice of pizza.
Yeah.
But those, I think, are $3-4 for a slice. So I'm coming down 8th, and I see the $3 place empty. It's open. It's 11 o'clock at night, but it's empty.
Yeah.
I go 1 block further, and there's the Two Brothers dollar pizza.
Yeah.
Almost out the door.
Yeah, of course.
And I try and get on the line. I'm like, I'm not going to make my train if I wait for that. I'm going to go pretty fast, but I'm like, no, not going to just do it. So it made me like grumbly because I'm like, God, I just want a slice of pizza. I need to make this place bigger. But it's a lesson. It's a lesson of what people need and what New Yorkers kind of want. It's like, for $1,
so
I'm going to get a slice.
All the people who are out partying, drinking, doing bad stuff, and they, all the people working in the night shift, they want cheap food for $1.
Yes, and good food. It's a good slice of pizza, I'm telling you. But how did I get to automation? Oh, this leads to, so I couldn't get my pizza.
Yes.
I'm like, all right, let me just get a beverage.
Yeah.
So I want to, there's a zillion, what do they call it, Graineries, Walgreens, everywhere you go. But I now know that they phased out the cans of Arizona. They're not dealing with Arizona anymore, the bastards. Yeah. It's like, can't get my Arizona, which is, of course, the cheap tea. You can get a 99-cent can.
Phase it out?
Probably they don't make any money on these 20-ounce 99-cent cans.
I thought because they were cans. They do more bottle.
Because they still have those giant jugs, I see.
Okay.
But they don't have any other version of Arizona.
Oh, wow.
And I think they're going to phase them out completely, I think. That's what somebody told me. But across the street from Penn Station, they've got a CVS.
Oh, yes, I know. Yes, it's
different.
Big.
Yeah. So I go in there, and not only do they have cans of Arizona, but they're on sale.
Yeah.
4 for $2, 50 cents each, which is the monster price for Arizona. My nipples tingled when I saw the sign having Arizona on sale in the cans, because it's the best deal you can possibly get. And I said, I wish I could carry a dozen, but I grabbed 4. I grabbed 2 that are reclosable and 2 cans. And then I get on the line, and it's a fairly longish line.
Self-checkout.
Yeah, there's 1 register open, and then they've got these, suddenly, out of nowhere, self-checkout booths.
Yes, yeah. It's
so, and then they've got this lady who obviously wants to be anywhere else, calling people, hey, if you have a card, bring it down, use the machine. I was like, all right. I thought you meant a credit card.
No,
as opposed to my CVS card, which I didn't really have on me.
Yeah.
So now
use my cell phone number. That's our CVS number.
But I'm at the machine.
Oh no!
Trying to. So first, it's taking me forever to find the scan thing. It's not scanning properly. Finally, I get all 4 scanned, and it's $4. But if I had the CVS card, it would be $2. That would be the point. But there's no place to key in.
No, you scan it. And you can scan
I didn't have the card, but I was going to put on.
You can do your phone number. It's my cell.
Couldn't find it. So then it said, a person is coming to assist you.
And I gave you a copy of the CVS card.
I'm sure I have it, but I didn't have time to look for it in my wallet. Or maybe it's in a drawer somewhere, but I think I have it. I tucked into my wallet.
It's my cell phone number.
Yeah. Should have scanned it, would have been fine. Yeah. But it took me forever to even scan the items. Yeah. And then it says a person is coming to help you.
Oh.
Did a person come to help me? No. So I'm standing there, and it's like I've got a bag of goodies. I haven't used my card yet.
Next to you to give you their card.
No, there was nobody standing next to me, and I was just like, "Oh, I am not meant to eat or drink tonight." So I just I kind of left the bag full of my beverages. This is automation. It's supposed to make your life easy.
You could have easily put in your number. Or if you
No,
wanna
there was
have your
literally, I
card-
could not find the place on the screen that asked for a phone number instead of the card.
No,
Otherwise, I'm
when you
putting
first
it in.
log in or when you pay, you do it, I think.
I hadn't put in but I wasn't going to put in my credit card, so it would have charged me $4.
Yeah. When you first log in, you have to enter your number.
Hmm.
When you first.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe.
You just do it first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you
Well,
can-
anyway, and there's nobody helping me, and there's nobody.
You should. When you go to the person next to you, say, "Hey, you can get my CVS points. Just scan your card."
Oh, that'd be. But
That's
again,
what
there was
you do.
nobody standing next to me at the other
You
kiosk.
can ask anybody. Say, "Does anybody
Oh,
have
oh,
a card I
CVS
can
card.
scan?"
Yeah. Probably should have done that. It was so enervating and annoying because
Dismal.
I don't even you like doing them at the supermarket. I don't like the self checkout.
I like them a lot.
You do?
Yeah.
Why?
The first time I did it, I was with Layla, who's my roommate.
Layla.
Remember Kim, and Philly, my roommates,
Yeah.
Kim and Layla, and we went to IKEA, and Layla wanted to do it, and she wanted to scan, so we did it. And we had some trouble, and someone came over and fixed it.
Yeah, but that's the point. It's supposed to be less trouble.
No, but
Not
generally,
like I'm standing here.
generally
Have some help. I mean, with that, I can go.
Generally,
in
it
person.
is. Yeah.
I mean, I'm thrilled that libraries have
Yeah.
self checkout. I think that's really, really cool. There's other places where I'm all for it.
It's empowering.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure. On certain things, I'm old school. I kind of like, here's my stuff. Please take it, scan it, have me sign something, take my card. Boom.
Yeah.
I don't mind putting my card in the machine myself.
Oh.
As opposed to the old days where you handed the person at the
I
register
like
the
it better
card.
because people don't see your stuff.
I know. Except, amazingly enough, your stuff gets stolen anyway. Funny, even now that everything's so automated, and you just go and you take it out of your wallet, you put it in the machine, you put it right back in your pocket. Somehow, everybody gets hacked anyway. Am I right? What, Ben?
I didn't know the time. Did you ask him what time it was, or you said it was?
No, I said, am I right? Am I right?
When is your friend calling?
In about a minute or two.
Ooh.
So we're kind of just easing into the phone call of Kim T. Sharp going to be calling in to Rabbi Saul Solomon on Dave's Guy. You know Rabbi Saul. Come on, if you went to see Shalom Dammit, An Evening with Rabbi Saul Solomon off Broadway or in Colorado, you know what he does. You know his website, shalomdammit.com. You might know, what else might you know of his? His amazing TV show, Shalom Dammit, Rabbi Saul Solomon's Peace, Love, and Acid Reflux Hour, which has 10 amazing episodes that you can watch on YouTube. And what else? What else do I need to know about
He was also arrested
No, he was not.
for going across state lines with stolen matzah.
Oh,
Remember
that was, yeah.
Remember the 1970s matzah crisis? Yeah.
That's why we always keep this hand. I can't turn this over because it's full of crumbs.
He did fake shmira. He was using Elmer's glue to
He
make
was using schmaltz and the schmira.
Yeah.
And it was registering it as parv. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. But yeah, Rabbi Saul going to be with us in just a moment or two, hopefully, as will our guest in the Daverhood. Oh, did they call? That's right. I don't get a
Oh.
Yeah, leave that going.
Okay.
Actually, I need to call in Rabbi Saul Solomon. Just tell Rabbi Saul. Hold on one moment, please, for Rabbi Saul Solomon, who will be with you in a moment. Turn this off. Oh my God, that was brutal. Shalom, everybody! Oh my God, did you miss me? Here I am, the great Rabbi Saul Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And you know that I love the theater. You know how much I enjoy talking about writers and directors and talking with them and actors and designers, because there's a certain joy that you get from putting on shows that is incomparable to anything else. Well, we have a person who does this. We have a person who has actually been doing this for many, many years. In fact, he was even the associate artistic director of an off-Broadway theater company called the Abingdon Theater for 16 years. Now he is directing a show at Urban Stages in New York on West 30th Street. It's called The Way We Get By. His name is Kim T. Sharp, and we are certainly sharply looking forward to talking with him. Kim, are you on the telephone with us?
Yes, I'm right here. How are you today?
I'm good, though. Shalom to you, shalom. And congratulations about this show that you are doing called The Way We Get By. please tell everyone in the neighborhood what this play is about.
Yes, hi. Well, thank you for the opportunity to talk about this. I do want to clarify that from your introduction, that this show, as a director, is actually being performed at the Urban Stages Theater in Manhattan, not associated with the Abingdon for this particular production.
Sure.
The way we get by is by a noted playwright, Neil Lefkowitz, and is a really enjoyable comedy of two people who connect one night after a party. And we watch the aftermath of that, if you will, the follow-up later that night, and how they go about sorting out their relationship.
Now, Neil Lefkowitz.
It's a wonderful play.
Now, Lefkowitz is kind of known for plays that start as comedies, but they have a pretty dark undercurrent and can sometimes get pretty vicious. Or is this one lighter than that?
Yes, this is, you're quite right, that Mr. Lefkowitz does often traffic in darker themes. But, and this one does, I can't give it away. There is a slight touch on that in this one. But overall, I really think it's really a wonderful romantic comedy, is the way I would call it. And, we don't have the darkness of some of his other work in this one particular piece.
Well, cool. Well, oh, good. Sounds like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to a nice, light, romantic comedy. Everything has to be so fraught and political now and gender-based and this.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's nice.
Two wonderful actors.
Yeah.
They're just really they make a wonderful pairing on stage. We have, Francesca Rivera and Andre Valte are the two actors, and they're really fresh faces for the New York stage, and it's been a real joy working with them on this particular piece.
Now, Kim Sharp was on the phone with us. He is the director of the piece. He did make it very clear that this is not an Abingdon Theater production, but you were with, are you still with Abingdon Theater? Are you no longer with them? What? Because you were with them for many years. Yeah.
Yes, actually, to get into the grant, I've actually went off on my freelance directing career about 3 years ago. So I did spend 16 seasons with the Abingdon, and I'm very happy with the work that I was able to do there. But I also wanted to pursue more directing opportunities, and so now I'm really a freelancer, if you will. And again, this play is taking place at a theater called Urban Stages.
But
there. I hope that's clear enough.
Yeah, no, it's very clear. But I want to get across, like, now that you've been away from sort of a home base for 3 years, is it easier, harder, different, having to get projects going? Yeah.
It's a big challenge. It's a totally different dynamic in terms of how you pursue your work and your activity. You don't have that constant, if you will, that consistency of showing up every day at the office, more or less, which is really wonderful to have a full-time job in the theater. But as a freelancer, you're going wherever the work takes you. And since leaving Abingdon, I've worked in probably over a dozen different theaters, both here and in Connecticut, a little bit in Jersey. I've been around, shall we say, and so it's a very different dynamic. It has taken some adjustment, but I'm enjoying it.
Now, do you feel more like a hired gun, or do you get to pick your projects?
You know, I really try to take on. Try to take on projects that I feel good about, shall we say, that I feel invested in, as opposed to, you pay me and I'll do whatever you want.
That's my life. You pay me anything, I'll do anything. Yeah.
And I understand that, and it's not to say I'm always able to do it, but for most of my projects, I invest myself in them. And so, money is certainly part of that calculation and taking on a project, but it's just as important to me that if I'm going to spend anywhere, 4 weeks in rehearsal, but maybe 2 or 3 months in preparation for something that, it's something that I really want to do and feel good about.
Do you have a particular kind of play that you especially enjoy or that you do particularly well? I mean, you're doing a romantic comedy now, but what's biggest in your wheelhouse?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
What kind of
normally do or drawn to?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. What kind of plays are you most drawn to most of the time?
Okay, I do tend to be more toward the dramatic, on the dramatic side. I just recently, my last project that I finished directing a piece by a new playwright called Will, whose name is Will Snyder. It's called Death of a Driver, and it's set in Kenya, and it's where a white American woman comes to do economic development in that country, and the Kenyan taxi driver that she hired.
Did that just finish playing, or is that about to play now? Because that's recent.
In actuality, this is its closing weekend. Again, at Urban Stages. And but with the play traces their relationship, not romantic, I should say quickly here. They work. She hired him to work with her in doing the economic project. In this case, building roads in Kenya. Kenya, they have less than 10% of their roads are actually paved. So there's great opportunity, and this play deals with one person that tries to go there and establish herself by building a road. And some of the implications of that. So it's a drama. It's definitely a drama. The title tells you, Death of a Driver, that there are some high stakes involved in this play.
May not end well, let's say. But everybody, you've got to know that if you go to Urban Stages this weekend, you can see Kim T. Sharp directing Death of a Driver.
By Will Snyder.
If
you go to the Urban Stages website, you can actually, purchase tickets and find out more information about that production. Now going back to the way we get by, if you're looking for more information about that, you would go to brownpapertickets.com.
That's brownpapertickets.com. And I know from brown paper with my intestinal problems, but it's brownpapertickets.com. And that show doesn't start until March 31st, and it runs through April 14th at Urban Stages.
Through the 14th of April.
Right. At Urban Stages. Yes.
Yeah, so we open a week from tomorrow on the 31st, and then we have performances every day of the week except on Tuesdays and Mondays. But again, you can get the details right there at brownpapertickets.com.
Now, we're talking with Kim Sharp, who has been in the game for a while. Did you have, because you're not a spring chicken, you're probably my age or a little older, at least it seems from the photos. So how did you get into theater in the first place? Did you have a day job for a decade or two or three?
No. I actually feel I'm a late bloomer. I actually came to theater when I was a junior in college. That's the first time that I actually got behind the scenes of doing theater. And that was just outside, I was at Chicago, University of Illinois in Chicago. And what I got snake bit is the way I term it with theater. And so once I had found theater, that's the only thing I ever wanted to do. So it's been a while that I've been doing this. I actually came to the city to work on new plays in 1985. So I've been going at it for quite a while. So I was a freelancer before Abingdon, then had those 16 seasons with Abingdon, and now the 3 after it.
Okay. So
it's been a journey.
what was the first play that you directed when you came to New York? And by the way, I want to also, I want to tell people, if you're hearing a lot of background noise, Kim is calling us from a train.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm on a train doing a workshop up in Connecticut today.
Ooh, very nice, very Tony, sort of. Maybe you want to Tony
busy
someday.
time.
But what was the first play you directed in New York?
The first play I did in New York was it was called Behind the Wall. It was done at a theater that is no longer in the city called Open Eye Two Stages Theater.
Oh, the Open Eye, right? Okay.
Yeah, it was up on the Upper West Side.
Yeah.
It was there for several years under Amy Broadway. And this was a play talking about drama, was about a young girl trying to reconnect with her father who had died in the Vietnam War. And she goes to visit the wall in Washington, D.C., the Vietnam War Memorial Wall. And she is successful. She heard the spirit of her father come to her as she visited the wall. So talk about drama. There you go, right from the start.
And the interesting thing is that, they built this Vietnam Wall. It has not kept out any Vietnamese immigrants. I just don't understand the purpose of that.
Sorry, one more time?
No, I'm joking. I'm making a little comedy for my audience here.
Yeah, that's true. I hear that. Oh, yeah, we were quite open about that.
Well, also, let me ask you, I know you've moved on from the Abingdon Theater, but you were there for a decade and a half. I want to hear so you came there as a literary manager?
Yeah, I was the associate artistic director and literary manager. Abingdon Theater was, at that time, had what we call an open submission policy.
Wow.
And so that we got in scripts, we accepted scripts from anybody, if you will. And so we would get in anywhere from 400 to 500 scripts a season. And as literary manager, I would be responsible for reviewing, evaluating those scripts and proposing scripts for our artistic director to focus on.
Now, let me ask you, out of those hundreds of scripts that you would have to read every year, hundreds of scripts, how many did you stop at page 10?
Yes, there was a process. Committing themselves to doing new work, I supervised interns who did the initial reading of scripts. So we actually did read from cover to cover all scripts that we received each year. I then sat down with the people that actually read the script, read their evaluation, talked with them about the script, make sure I got all the good work, the nuance of the script, and then made a decision as to which script I would actually read, and then make a further evaluation. So I didn't do cover to cover, but all those scripts were actually read.
Covered by. I think it's really funny that you've got these organizations that are going to throw all these resources and all this, even off Broadway. There's money involved to put these things on, but the first line of defense is like an 18-year-old junior in college who's making decisions about something that you're going to throw $50,000 at, or not, or will never get on.
Exactly. And the Abingdon did just that. They were true to their word. I mean, there were admittedly some scripts that, there were prior connections with, but the majority of the scripts that were produced at Abingdon were from the open submission policies for many seasons. And it's exactly what you're saying. It's a big commitment for any theater, but a smaller nonprofit theater to say, yep, we're going to do this is going to be one of our 3 or 4 offerings in the course of the season. So it's a big decision.
Now, can I ask, over those years, did any of either the actors or the playwrights or directors that you sort of nurtured and found, Do we now know their names later, almost as household names? Did any become famous?
So one, let's see.
I've never heard of Boo 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 Boo.
I'm trying to think.
Must be African.
Certainly actors. Because Abingdon was devoted to new plays, we attracted a number of actors who were more interested in the work than the money, because there wasn't much money available. And so I would say, one, if you follow theater, I would give you the name of, for instance, Reed Birney.
Oh my gosh!
Got a Tony for The Human.
Yes.
He was in a production at Abingdon in, for instance, 2005. And we tend to credit ourselves with reviving his career because he really got very busy after that production, whether because of it or otherwise. But there's somebody that is very notable within the theater.
And do you feel like you've discovered any playwrights who have gone on, if not to fame, but to certain longevity, or they have careers in Hollywood now?
That it actually, and thank you for the question. I wish I could grab the name, but we did have a couple of playwrights that we worked with who are actually established in the television community that write for television, and so.
So they make more money than either of us ever will.
In other words, they didn't make a big name in theater, but they did, through their own resources, have made a very comfortable living working as writers in television.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, let me ask you, Kim T. Sharp, what is your favorite play of all time?
I'm sorry.
I'll ask you again.
Hold on a second. We're going over a bridge here. That might be part of the problem.
Well, while you're going over the bridge, let me remind people.
Now I'm back.
Okay. Well, actually, while you're going under or over a bridge, let me remind people that you can see Death of a Driver at Urban Stages through this weekend, directed by Kim T. Sharp, or you can see the other play, The Way We Get By, starting March 31st and running through the middle of April, also at Urban Stages on West 30th Street. But Kim...
Also at Urban Stages.
Urban Stages. But the question I have for you is, what is your favorite play of all time?
Golly. The classical, the more widely known classical play, I would say, is a piece called Galileo by the German playwright Bertolt Brecht.
Huh.
I have a very fond memory of the production that I put together for that. So that would be perhaps something that the wider audience might connect to. But it is the story of the astronomer Galileo and his scientific pursuit and the conflict he got into with the Catholic Church at that time.
Oh, somebody on Facebook just gave you a thumbs up for the Brecht play Galileo. Maybe as people like Queen, Galileo. Anywho, let me also ask you, when you got first bit by that theater bug, apologies for the grammar, what are one of the two shows that you remember seeing as either a child or when you were a junior in college? What show just made you go, whoa?
Well, again, I returned to one of my first productions I was involved with, was a piece called the Resistible Rise of Arturo Louis.
Oh my God, they just revived that last year. Yeah.
Yeah, which by Bertolt Brecht, which was just revived this season by the Classic Stage Company. But that was a very rich experience for me as an actor and working on that production. The director put in a number of Cole Porter review numbers, made it not quite a musical, but put Cole Porter tunes along with the action. And it's really one of the things that has always stuck with me and really gave me, shall we say, showed me the power of theater and how it could affect people.
Well, I have one last question for Kim Sharp, the director of these two plays that we've been talking about. So since your mind is on, and we're definitely pushing The Way We Get By at Urban Stages.
Right.
This
Absolutely.
is a play that has been done before. It's an older Neil LaBute play. What are you bringing to it, do you think, as a director, that that is special to the script? The script is the script. Yeah. What are you doing to it?
What I'd like to think is that I'm presenting it as with as much entertainment as I feel there is in the script. The script was originally done the first time in about 2014 or 2015 at the Second Stage Theater Company there. When I did not see that production, I missed it, so I don't have that to compare to. But what I'm bringing to it is in a two-hander. That means just two actors on stage. It really is nurturing those performances so that they are taking advantage and exploiting, if you will, all the richness of this script. It's terribly well written, and I mean that in a positive way when I say terribly. It's very well written. And these two actors are just having a wonderful time and connecting with the material richly. So I don't feel I'm doing anything to it. I feel I'm connecting these actors with a very strong script, and I think the results are just going to be fabulous.
Well, if you at home want to connect with The Way We Get By, get your tickets. Remember, it's running from March 31st to April 14th at Urban Stages on West 30th Street. What's the website again?
At West 259 West 30th Street. And information at Brown Paper Tickets, that's all together as one word, .com. brownpapertickets.com.
Well, we're certainly glad that you, Kim Sharp, had a train ticket today, but were able to still call us in the Daverhood, tell us about your work, tell us about your love of the theater, and we want to wish you much success with this play. Do you have another project lined up after this one?
No, in the freelance life, I'm always looking for that next project, so we'll see what comes up, okay?
Well,
Thank you. It's been great to talk to you today. I'm just about to arrive at New Haven.
Perfect timing.
Perfect.
So great. It's lovely to talk to you, and shalom to you.
Shalom to you too, sir.
Bye-bye. Kim T. Sharp here in the Daverhood on the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Programmio, Podcastio of the stream. Go to brownpapertickets.com to find out more about The Way We Get By. And also, hey, look, you've got a couple of chances this weekend to see Death of a Driver at the same theater, directed by the same guy. Thank you, Kim T. Sharp. Thank you. And, happy post-Purim to all of you from all of me. And now, here comes Dave. Well, the wonderful Rabbi Sal Solomon there, joining us on Dave's Gone By. Why do I even bother? I should just take the hat. Anyway, hope you've been enjoying the show so far. We got so much more show for ya. But I'm Dave Lefkowitz, the host and proprietor of this program, Dave's Gone By. It's our 690th episode of the show. That's right, we've been on the air in some form or other since 2002. And if you want to find out what we've done in all these years, all you got to do is go to the website davesgoneby.com. Dave, like my name, D-A-V-E-S, davesgoneby.com. And that is where the archives reside. So if you want to hear the very first show that we ever did, it's there for free. If you want to hear the 10th show, the 100th show, the 500th episode, and I remember that one very well, because I think both Christine Lavin and Dr. Demento called in on the same show, and they were return visitors too. So that was a very proud moment. But our 600th show, they're all there in the archives, davesgoneby.com. Just bit my lip there, that was fun. As well as a separate archive for the interviews. So if you missed all or part of Rabbi Sal's interview with Kim T. Sharp, tune in tomorrow. Just go to our Facebook page and, of course, our davesgoneby.com page, and we even have an archive of just the interviews. And boy, oh boy, if you missed last week, the interview that we had with playwright and director, the guy who does A Jewish Joke, Phil Johnson. Oh my gosh, Rabbi Saul got up on stage with him after Johnson did his off-Broadway show called A Jewish Joke, and there's video of it. We couldn't play the video on our radio podcast program last time, but the video is saved, and it's wonderful. You can actually see it if you scroll down on the Facebook page later, or you can go see that at davesgoneby.com. It's all great, and it's all part of what we do here, the archiving of, you can hear what I was talking about, what I sounded like 16 years ago. That may not be terribly fascinating for you, but I love that not only does this program mix comedy and talk and humor and culture and blah, 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 but it's sort of a timeline of who I am, right? And what does that matter to anybody? Who the hell am I? But you get into a personality, you learn about someone. There are certain things you pick up here and there beyond what I'm physically putting out there. And there's a stream of that. And I'm particularly thinking of that now because I think I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. There's a program that I listen to on a New Jersey station called WFMU. It's an independent radio station. It used to come out of Uppsala College, I think, but then they broke off independently. WFMU, major important American radio station. And there's a show that I've been listening to on Sunday afternoons with Glenn Jones and X-Ray Burns. And just, it's become part of my weekly life. I don't necessarily get to listen live, but I'll listen to all or part of the show sometime during the week because they'll archive it. And then last month, the co-host of the show, X-Ray Burns, he had been suffering with stage 4 lung cancer for quite some time, which they didn't really talk about on the air, and he passed away. And so it's left the host, Glenn Jones, kind of bereft and kind of figuring out where to go now, since he's been co-hosting the show for many years with X-Ray, bringing in guest co-hosts, having to deal with fundraiser weeks at the station too, while all this is going on, while he's still kind of grieving and mourning his old friend. So, but the great thing about the station again is that their archives go back before the year 2000. And on that program even, you can go to like 2001, 2000, and hear what they sounded like, how much younger comparatively they were. Which is, when you hear them week after week, you don't hear the voice changes. You don't hear the subtleties in who they are and what they're conversing about. But you make that leap of going back 10 or 15 years and you hear, oh my God, they sound like different people almost, and yet they're talking about the same things. There's a real fascination for me in that, of the now to then and the then to now, which you can do with this program as well, just by going to davesgoneby.com, where it is 10 in the morning Eastern time. So welcome to all the folks who've been listening, who've been tuning in, Rick and John and Brenda and Toby. Oh my gosh, hey Toby, and Karen and Diane from the library where I'm back working for a while, part-time, and all the other folks who tuned in earlier and will be tuning in for more of the show because we've got more of the show for you. Oh my gosh, we still have Greeley Crimes and Old Times coming up. We'll have, perfect timing and we have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. What else do we have? We'll have our StoryTime for New Jersey.
David, I tried to, I don't know what I did to people, but they changed the way you invite people, so I had to do a watch party. And I did a watch party and invited people, and then I invited people separately. So I probably invited people many thousand times.
Okay.
So tell people I'm sorry, but I don't know what I'm doing on
Facebook.
Well,
you're on the air. You're telling people we're sorry if you've been over-invited to this program.
But I am not good with the Facebook, the FB,
yeah.
So I don't know what I'm doing. So I might have invited people many times, but it was with love.
And you really went far. You invited Bin Laden.
No,
and he's been dead for a few years?
I invited When the Dead Awaken, yes. I do like the James Joyce, but, David, you put the Torah on.
The Torah, actually, the Rabbi got vociferous.
And a couple friends joined. Chris joined, Diti, and Esther joined. And Diane joined, too.
Which, Oh,
Yes.
yes.
So look, I don't know if there's more people.
No, that's funny. I'm not seeing everybody who watches listed. I don't know why that happens.
What does
but
it say?
well, I've
See?
got, these are Toby and Karen and Diane and Dwight
Yes.
and the folks that Joyce mentioned. So it's really great to have so many
Well, I should
folks.
tell them I tried to do it, so I'm sorry if I did it wrong.
Well, we apologize, but not really, because a lot of people watching
they
the show.
changed the way you invite friends. It says all different now.
Well, that's weird because I did it the normal way on here, but then again, I'm the host, so maybe it's.
It was very different.
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
I have an upgraded account because I'm special.
Let's see if I can invite more. Oh, I can't invite any more people. Oh well.
Oh,
Oh
no.
well. Now, are you ready for some crime?
I gotta put the eye drops in the dog. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Do I want to do this on camera? Oh no, he's
No,
asleep. Let
he's
him do it
supposed to
quietly.
be happy,
What else can I tell you before we do? Maybe I'll do.
Give me one.
Let me do the poem. You do the eye, and I will. We'll do things a little bit out of order today because one of the things that we've been doing week after week after week here in the Daverhood, since we spent the last 10 years in northern Colorado, is I started writing just offhandedly some poems about various towns and cities and municipalities in the state of Colorado. I just wanted to write a couple that popped into my head, and then it became sort of an obsessive thing. How many poems can I write about various places in Colorado? Well, we've got about 60-something of them, and we've been doing one a week
I'm done.
for the past, few months. So it's called the Colorado Limerick of the Dam because they're limericks, and limericks tend to be rather, shall we say, grim and disgusting and raunchy, all in their five lines of fame, shall we say.
5 lines of fame.
So let's do our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, this one, about, what a beautiful name for a town, Golden, Colorado.
You're the poetry man.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick. Rocky Mountain, Colorado.
So yes, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, which today is going to be dedicated to Golden, Colorado. Now, a couple of things about Golden. It's in Jefferson County, literally at the foot, well, not literally, figuratively, at the foot of the Rocky Mountains. It's named after one of the very first, or maybe the first prospector to come out there and look for gold, Thomas L. Golden.
Oh.
Did you know that the Colorado School of Mines
Yeah.
is out there? I don't know where the Colorado your school is, but the School of Mines is out there.
Oh,
Can't mine.
yes, that's funny.
Where they do engineers and geology and stuff like
they
that.
do that.
It's also the headquarters of Coors. Adolf Coors was born there, and he founded the company Coors Beer in Golden, Colorado. And guess what sweet candy was initially, now it's an international thing, but
Mars
not
bar.
Not Mars.
Hershey?
Think in terms of what kind of people did back in the 1800s and early 1900s.
Chunky bar.
Ew, I don't know what they were doing that was chunky.
No.
Where would they live if you were a
In
cowboy?
the mountains? In the desert? In the brothel?
But what kind of,
Brothel?
what kind of edifices might they?
A log cabin?
Right. Or if they had a little more money, they might
Ranch?
do, okay.
Jolly Rancher?
Jolly Rancher, man.
Whoa.
Jolly Rancher started in Golden, Colorado.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that. When I'm
Damn.
nauseous, it helps me when I'm nauseous.
That's cool. So, Jolly Rancher candies. So we have a poem for this. Do we have to get the kids out of the room? It's sick, but it's not filthy. So we can do this one. There we go.
Tape recorders, honey bun.
Oh, they're running. They're running. They're here. Oh, I gotta move them over because now you're here.
Oh, I
so.
can go on that side. I'll
Oh,
go here.
okay, yeah.
I can stay here.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you all ready for our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for Golden, Colorado? An evil white slaver named Holden once kidnapped a woman from Golden. He mailed her out quickly, but she was so sickly, she died in the box she was sold in. That's our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, ladies and gentlemen. Potato, did you like it?
Oh, no.
No, do not like that. It's not in the Me Too era. I know. That's my potato.
You didn't put your glasses. I texted you.
And I couldn't. I was
Yeah.
searching around for them. I didn't have much time. Plus, it would have made me blind because I've got glasses. I have no.
And there was the door closing. You heard the doors closing on Metro North.
Oh,
That's what that was. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't sound like the LIRR, but it did. Yeah.
That was Metro North. Yeah.
Anywho, are you ready to get criminalized, babe?
I am.
Oh boy, it's time for Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Spooky indeed we. Spiddly doo, spiddly dee. Just vamping while I get the next song ready. Okay, here we go.
Did
Greeley
you show them the shoe?
I don't know what to do with this.
Ask
We also
if
found
anyone,
this
if
week.
anyone has the lost shoe.
Anybody we found this on the street, and of course I have to take this. So if any of our listeners have lost a shoe, and I did clear out the human foot that was inside it.
Here.
We did wash out the blood and the lymph and everything. Oh, here we go. Oh, maybe. Look at this. This is so opportune. I've been holding this for years. It's a foot. I'll hold it up closer to the camera. There we go. Look, behold. Let's see. It's like a sick version of Cinderella.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I'll put this in the shoe.
In the real version of Cinderella, she cuts off her toes to fit in the shoe.
That's right. Yeah, well, the sisters do.
Yeah.
Her foot fits. Look at it. It fits. Ta-da! Again, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Oh, the good times we have. Yeah. So the Greeley Tribune is our newspaper back home that still publishes 4 days a week in
now
hard
I
copy.
think it's 3.5.
Yeah.
And every other Sunday.
The attrition is happening. Greeley Tribune, and what they do in there is a very cool column that they generally do once a week. One of the columns is called Greeley 100 Years Ago. And what it does is the guy there, Mike Peters, who's our friend of the Daverhood, he goes into the newspapers from 1919 and he plucks out things that are funny or nostalgic or just odd that they were writing about in the newspaper all those years ago. And then
It's a very cool column.
Yeah. And the other column that they do is called Cop Log, which is phone calls that come into the Greeley and Weld County Police Dispatch because people think they need help.
And they do need help.
Yeah, actually, it's true. They do need, or they're reporting
it's
things.
Great because people are self-identifying help, but sometimes they think it's others who need help when it's really themselves. It's a very deep metaphysical.
Yes, it is. It is indeed. So, are you ready?
Oh, yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, now the one unfortunate thing is, for no reason that I can see, the past couple of weeks, the Greeley Tribune has not been publishing Cop Log.
Why not?
I can't find it. Maybe it's in the hard copy and they haven't posted it to the interwebs. So, Friendy, if you're listening and you can find it and you can maybe email it to me.
That's so weird.
Yeah. But I'm not finding it on the web.
Wow. Because you would think on the web it's easier, cheaper space. Right?
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, sometimes
Obviously,
this happens. This happens sometimes towards the holidays because somebody's taking a vacation and they don't get to post them.
Like you said to the guy, maybe they need an intern. Right, to read through the scripts, right?
They probably can't even afford an intern.
Wow.
It's like, we have to provide extra water for them.
Oh, no.
And the Greeley Tribune, like every place else, has been cutting the hell out of its staff and stuff.
That's crazy.
All right, are you ready, babe? Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready for it.
Here we go. Here we go. Let's do a lot of old times, because old times we got.
Okay.
Thomas Condon.
Oh, yes.
Arrested for possession of a concealed weapon.
Uh-oh.
Was asked at his trial, quote, "Are you a member of the IWW?"
What's that?
The International Industrial Workers of the World Union.
Yay.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Said Condon, thinking that the IWW is a political party.
Oh.
He said, "I am a Republican." The prosecuting attorney, a Democrat, suggested that after that admission, the judge give Condon, quote, "the extreme sentence."
Yes, spank him on the tushy.
The judge, a Republican, gave Condon the lightest penalty, a $5 fine.
Ignorance is bliss.
Well, since when has politics been so divisive?
Never.
Never.
That's so strange.
Yeah.
That's an outlier.
Now, Greeley
Yes.
has the
You
most...
should see Alex posted a thing about the Greeley Fire Department upping their fire trucks, making them all new.
Well, they're volunteers. They're entitled.
I think they're paid. No.
Oh, that fire the Valley
don't
Stream
know.
is paid? I don't know.
No, not Valley Stream. Greeley.
Oh.
He found a thing about Greeley's trucks. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful video.
Well, they got a new firehouse in Greeley a couple
And now
years ago.
they took the old trucks and they updated them, and they have one ladder that's huge, probably for like the fracking fires. But like, if they did, they redid it. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's good.
Yeah, yeah. We have the firehouse just by us because I know the firemen very well.
I'm sure you do. Joyce,
Yes.
like most women, has sort of a thing for fire people.
Not necessarily. I'm an equal opportunity employer.
So are you here or there? Where are
I don't know, where do you want me? I'll go on that side, my normal
Okay.
side. I feel weird, yeah.
Go on. Well, I feel weird too.
Did you want to have, I thought Potato was going to climb Moses in solidarity.
Let's
with
do
the
it.
one climbing
Let's-
the Statue of
Well,
Liberty.
we talk about fires, we're like climbing ladders. Let's have
That's
Potato.
too heavy. I may drop it on myself,
Okay.
so let's not.
Let's get settled.
Okay.
You got a pillow there if you
yeah,
need.
but I can't. I have to stand.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right, you ready?
Remember what happened last week?
Yeah.
Yes.
Greeley has the most remarkable assortment of rats on the street than any other city, according to night police officers. By the way, this is from 100 years ago. There he is. Whee! They have seen black rats, brown rats, calico rats, and rats of indefinable colors.
Wow.
We know the white...
Isn't that the Cats medley from T.S. Eliot?
Jellicle rats for jellicle cats, jellicle brown rats, green rats, yellow
Undefined
rats,
color rats.
fat rats,
Yes. I think that's the
scat
thing.
rats. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Well, no. We know, they say, that the white rats escaped from a traveling show passing through Greeley several years ago.
I knew one of the girls who worked at the Starbucks at the UC she had rats. And then
Not at the Starbucks, I hope.
No. And she told me one time she was taking an exam online and the rat ran across the keyboard and submitted her exam.
Oh, God.
Yes.
A likely excuse.
I know.
Yeah.
And then I remember our vet friend, she had rats too. She loved them.
I know.
Yeah. Michael Jackson had a rat called Ben.
Oh, that was just a nickname for his penis. Come, want to touch Ben?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't stop till you've got enough. All right, here we go. Poisoned.
Did you show people your stickers?
Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, this is a very beautiful thing. Look at this. Look at this. We're so happy to be back near a Trader Joe's again.
Oh, yeah.
Because Trader Joe's gives out this kind of thing.
For kids, and you.
But notice what they have here. Look. For Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taco.
Let's get corny with corned beef for corned beef and cabbage. Hot, get corny,
Yes,
get it?
Yes.
Now we got Happy Patty's Day with a very, very frightening. He's like the leprechaun from that horror movie.
No, that's horrific, yeah.
Then we got the pot o' gold.
That's lovely,
okay.
Yeah.
And then look, behold, I see you. It's a potato. Isn't that the most beautiful thing ever?
It's lovely.
I think so.
I like it.
I do believe so.
I like it.
Anyway, by the way, welcome to Karen and Diane and Dwight and Bruce and Michael and so many folks tuning in on this Saturday.
Is our other friend David on there?
Which
Dr. David.
I think he was. I'm not sure.
Hey, Dr. David.
Hey, Dr. David. Hope you're feeling well.
Dr. David, can you diagnose this problem on the chicken?
Yes.
See, what do you think's going on here? Oh, look, it actually looks mesmerizing on the thing. And show him that. Ask him about potato. No.
I've told so many people that I'm a henpecked husband, but
Ask him what's wrong with potato too. The nurse didn't really seem to give. She talked about the bug.
Dr. Dave, if you can have look at this. I mean, it's what do you think that is?
I think he's just sleepy.
Oh, maybe.
I think he was up all night working on the potato hotline and he's tired.
I
think he has just fatigue.
He was up all night surfing porn and YouTuber. Thank you very much. That's
I
comedy.
think he was up all night trying to check out on CVS.
And by the way, Fred has confirmed this unfortunate news.
What?
Our friend Fred, no cop log published this week.
Fred.
There's been no cop log.
Ask Wendy if she can do some kind of searching for it.
Well, it's not there. It's not there.
Yeah, but she can maybe use her librarian superpowers. She could use some kind of indexing and culling of the information.
Yes. Yes, do some good culling. Because not just this week, I couldn't find one last week either. And we're down, as we say, to our Betty Harpers in terms of top log items. That's why we're doing a lot of
Maybe
100 years
you have
ago.
to Google on the internet, like police reports, funny police reports or something.
Well, I think he's looked in the hard copy. He's not finding, because he reads the paper every day.
Oh, that's not good.
There are some people who still read the paper every day, I gotta say.
Yes.
You know what kind of I was impressed by?
What?
I know this is a weird thing to say, but my folks still get the New York Times.
Yeah.
And they get the New York Times 7 days a week, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's probably a pretty damn expensive newspaper to subscribe to at this point. But they get the Sunday Times, and I look at the price, and it's $3. Which
That's not
back in the
good.
day
It was $2.50 for me when I used to get it here.
But and it's a monster paper still. You get a lot of newspaper.
That's very true.
For $3. I think in this day and age, it's not so bad.
Yeah, but the subscribers, and you know what I don't like though, on the Times you get 1 or 2 articles free, and they're like, if you want to see more articles, you have to pay.
They get 9 or 10.
That's what their Alexa did to us. She's like, here's 1 sentence of the thing you want to hear. If you want more, you got to pay. That I don't like.
That's what
too
they do.
I know, it's too corporate.
And Wall Street Journal doesn't even give you one.
Really?
Yeah.
Not
well, I mean,
one.
so we're getting free content. It's
Why that's why people go to the interwebs and read crazy stories, because they can't read the real stuff because you got to pay.
Yeah.
So it's a triple system.
But back in the day, they expected you could go pay 50 cents for the actual newspaper.
I guess you could go to the library and get the paper, the public library. But come on now, really.
I mean, why do you? I mean, I'm like you. I love that it's for free, but why do you expect it for free?
Because I think they make so much money on advertising.
They make nothing. Do you know how in debt the New York Times is? How many people they fired over the past couple of years? They got nothing. They're
you know why?
Shrift.
They get
skint.
their money for nothing and their chicks for free.
That's very good.
I can't.
I mean, I think it's been very nice that the Greeley Tribune.
She showed him. Okay.
Is free.
Don't eat these. These might have been there for a long time.
Yeah. But our home newspaper, the Trib, is free to students at the university. But, because those students are probably not going to subscribe to the newspaper anyway. Maybe they used to get it at home when their parents subscribed.
I don't know if they still deliver the paper copies to school. They used to. I don't know if they still do.
We'll find out.
I don't know, yeah. And also the business school gets the Wall Street Journal for free. I used to get that.
But I'm sure they pay. Well, maybe not.
They used I thought they got it for free, but they used to have maybe they get an educational
I'm sure they get a discount.
Yeah.
But whether they pay.
That's a good part.
Yeah. And,
read your story. I'm sorry, you're reading the crimes. Well,
so we're doing really crimes and old times, by the way. Yeah. And where are we at with that? Oh, poisoned grain.
Oh! Look, you got mad. What you
doesn't want to go near that. Look what it makes her do. Oh, this is horrifying. Oh, that poison grain.
She's mad.
But you know what? It's getting cheaper.
Oh, good.
The grain is going down in price.
Of course, because it'll kill people.
Well, it's soaked in strychnine.
Oh, my God.
Why do you think it's being used by farmers?
To kill the pests.
Like?
Vermin. Rats.
Like?
Chickens?
No.
Rats?
No.
Who? Oh, no. Prairie dogs?
Prairie dogs and rabbits.
No. That's too sad.
Because they're damaging the crops.
But
oh, my God.
That's too sad, honey. I'm sorry.
And I kind of wonder, if you have really poor people, right? Especially back in 1919.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be eating rabbits and prairie dogs? So if you eat a rabbit that was killed in that way.
But the farmers are probably, you know what they say, farmers never go hungry because they always have bigger animals. They have pigs, cows, sheep, and they probably have corn. So it's probably more advantageous for them to grow a crop they can sell than to save 1 or 2 rabbits. The rabbits are eating, they're destroying the quality of the soil and probably destroying the, from the farmer's point of view, destroying the crop.
Yeah, but no, I'm kind of like the farmer that's been using too much strychnine-soaked grain.
Yeah.
Because I'm suffering hair loss.
Oh, that's
funny
sad.
rabbit little play on words there.
That's very sad, Mama.
This is Dave's gone by. We do that sort of thing
You're
here.
funny.
It's how we do.
You make the funny sound.
A woman
convicted
of making an angry speech in North Dakota has been sentenced to 5 years in prison.
Wow.
The woman shouted out on the streets,
Yeah.
any person who enlisted in the army for service in France should be used for fertilizer.
Oh, God.
No shit.
She's so crazy.
She was immediately arrested. 5 years
Wow.
for free
Freedom
speech.
of speech, yeah.
Aside from the fact that I still don't understand why these are coming out because the war's over. This is 1919.
Well, yeah, but maybe there's like a lag. Maybe some people
Yeah.
weren't aware.
Yes. Maybe she was, in
Wasn't there a
1917.
movie like that where
Where?
one of the wars ended? They made a movie and people were still living in bomb shelters. They didn't realize it.
It probably was.
There was a
about-
movie I saw like that. It probably was an independent film where people didn't realize that the war had ended.
And wasn't there a Gilligan's Island episode based on the true story of that Japanese soldier
Yes, yeah.
who was? I mean, he died like a few years ago.
Yeah.
He was, he was there until
Oh
1957.
my God! Pick up your people, right?
Tourists would come and he'd greet them with a gun. I'm serious. He was in the middle of a jungle in Japan.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
That's a new version of our trip, the Aspen Club, right? We take them to.
If you knew sushi like
Oh
he
my
knew
God.
sushi. Anyway, let's have one grilly crime.
Yes.
Okay, just one grilly crime this week. Police. Oh no. Let me do this one.
What?
You know why? Because
Oh no.
do it. It's a chicken alert. Chicken alert. We have a story about a chicken. This is exciting.
You hold him and make him so they can see his face.
Police
No, get him
There
out
you
of your face there.
responded
Oh no, it's scary chicken alert.
to 28th Street
Okay,
Road.
It's okay.
Oh,
It's okay.
don't
He looks
stop touching
scared.
my cock. Okay.
No, it's a hen. It's
Is it hand? All right.
gallina.
Gallina. All right. Police responded to 28th Street Road
Oh no.
for a report
It better not be bad.
of loud and obnoxious chickens and roosters. Loud and obnoxious chickens and roosters.
Do you want? Wait, push out the face. It's cute.
No, because it's really true. They are obnoxious. They start playing their music after 10 p.m.
Oh my God.
All hell breaks loose.
They drop the bass, right?
They leave the cans off the garbage, so
Yes,
the bears come in.
yes.
It's not good.
Oh no.
Oh, so that was our chicken alert.
Did the chicken like it?
Oh, very much so.
Let me take out the candies.
Okay, take them out. Take them out.
Let's examine.
But if you take them out, I will suck on one. I will.
No,
well,
it'll make
I
you
won't,
sick.
I won't be able to speak.
I would need some kind of
Implement
device.
the
yeah.
candies are wedged so deep in the chicken's ass.
They won't come out. We need.
Oh.
Ask Dr. David if he can disimpact the chicken. He needs some.
Look at this. Look at this. They look pretty.
Yeah.
It's like a chicken yaga.
Do you want to use the scissors?
It's probably taped in there. So I got a little bit going on.
How did you do that?
Oh man.
Be careful. Look. Oh.
Oh, this is not going well.
No.
This was
You wanna
probably a
use the
bad
scissors?
idea. Oh.
When you,
Well, then they'll just all spill out.
well, they're gonna. Yeah.
Now he has an distended
They're
colon.
really, the thing is, they're really pretty colors.
Oh yeah. Oh,
They
absolutely.
look how
Jelly
nice the
beans.
colors are, yeah.
Yeah.
Are they real or are they?
No, those are going to make candy. Candy from possibly 2004.
No, I think that's over. That's probably 1998.
Well, if we do get those out,
Now his butt won't close.
well, that's what she said. No, actually, no, that would not be inappropriate. That's what she said. Oh, you did it. Thank
Just
you.
don't pop the butt.
Anywho, we're doing Grilly Crimes at All Times. Live on this Saturday, March 23rd, 2019. Are you ready for some more
Yeah.
old
I
times?
am ready.
Authorities at the Agricultural College in Fort Collins.
Well, CSU.
That's what it turned into.
CSU,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's an ag college.
Well, this is the caliber of student they had back then.
Uh-oh.
Well, they're actually telling everybody in Fort Collins in northern Colorado,
Yeah.
keep their hands and fingers
Yeah.
out of their mouths.
Oh, God.
With the spread of germs and diseases today, we must keep alert to avoid touching our mouths. This is especially important for farm workers who lick their fingers when finished with a task.
What the?
Just milk that cow. That was some good milking right there. Now I'm just gonna go get some eggs out of chicken.
It's sad.
What would they do?
We were taught an aseptic technique how to be, clean yourself. You have to.
I was thinking the only thing a farmer would do is like if he's checking where the wind is coming from, they'd probably do
No,
this.
but if you get anything that's, you could get any kind of disease. You have to wash your hands.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right.
That's
of course.
That's a good public health relay. Thank you.
Well, now it's time for an editorial.
Oh.
Editorial from the Greeley Tribune Republican 100 years ago. Quote, "It is scandalous the way the government is played by the president and Congress, fighting for power over each other,
Never.
while the country pays the enormous bills that their fight for supremacy entails.
Amen.
I mean, word
What's
for
old
word.
is new. What's old
Oh
is new.
my God. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't get more, what would be the word? Prescient or simply,
Relevant. More
Yeah.
appropriate.
yeah. Anywho.
I don't know the big words.
Well, do you know about Harbaugh's shoe repair?
No, I don't.
Well, let me tell you what happened at Harbaugh's shoe repair.
Uh-oh.
Whoa, oh, where is it?
What?
We had the shoe.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. It has a foot now. Let me
I know.
look up the foot here. This is a good. This doesn't need a.
We have
repair.
imagery, yeah.
Look at this here. I'm going to do it up like a high top. It's like a Converse.
If
It's
it,
adorable.
if it wasn't, it didn't belong to a murdered child somewhere.
It's
It'd be really
adorable.
cute. Yeah.
It's adorable.
So anyway, Harbaugh's shoe repair. What about them? They found 2 pairs of shoes that had been left at the shop for nearly a year.
What?
The owners
Yeah.
are D.B. Blair of the Greeley Creamery and Jim Lynch of the Rex Theater.
Oh, okay.
Neither man was concerned about being without their shoes for so long.
Wow.
But you know what bugs me about this? Is
Did they out people on
yeah,
the
we
air?
talk about
Yeah.
no privacy in this era,
yes.
that somebody's always looking over your shoulder, that
Yes.
everybody has your
Yes.
social security, you can't walk down the street,
dark
there's
web,
a
the
satellite.
dark web, the
Yeah.
dark web.
Meanwhile, back in the day,
Yeah.
if you left a pair of shoes,
They outed you in the
accident,
paper.
yeah, they put your name in the
Well,
newspaper.
it goes worse. My mother lived in a small town, and they had the party line. So you pick up, you're like, "Oh, David, we just want to tell you your test results came in," and blah blah blah. And everybody in the town is listening.
Right, yeah.
It's like, "Whoa, whoa!" And then there was
That's right.
a
Well,
lot
the
of,
doctors would call the cancer
Yes,
diagnosis.
yes.
Hold for her. You know,
yeah, and then everybody picks up. Everybody picks up.
Wow.
So I think there was it was a different way of communicating stuff.
It was ever thus, as they
It
say.
was ever so, yes.
In Frederick,
Ooh.
at the mine. So Frederick obviously opened his ass to people.
No,
In Frederick at the mine.
Frederick is a 5-town. Frederick, Tacona, and
Oh,
there's a third one. Tacona, and there's a third town. I can't remember. Tri-town area.
the night watchman shot at some fellow workers.
Ooh, whoa.
And he also hit one of them over the head with his gun.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
He was arrested by the sheriff and is thought to be, and this is a quote, I love this word, he is thought to be slightly disarranged mentally.
Like, really, dude, like, control yourself. That's like what we see on our intelligence show on the Netflix.
Yeah,
A
right?
lot of, like, I don't like violence. Like,
Well,
I mean, you have a gun, you shoot at people, and then you use the gun to hit them. Like, isn't that overkill?
yeah, well, if you learn to aim, if you're trying to shoot somebody,
Oh, my God.
but this
Maybe
idea
they should
of,
not let him have a gun. This is like,
but the thing is, we know when we call people deranged. I get that,
Yeah.
deranged, we know the word.
Yes.
But to be disarranged
I think
mentally,
he is.
it's like things are just
I
out
think
of,
his
yeah,
brain
I
is
love
not
that.
cognitively ordered correctly.
I do like that.
I do too. I like it.
Okay, let's do one more old time, because I better save some of these.
Yeah,
Oh, no, we also have an elsewhere. We do have an elsewhere.
An old time save it.
Yeah,
Do
let's
you
do
want
an
me to give you
elsewhere.
a highlighter so you could see where you stop?
Oh, I can usually
okay.
figure out. Sometimes I forget, but here we go. We're going to go all the way to Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Woohoo! Spring break!
Courtesy of...
It is break. It was
It is,
break.
yeah. Associated Press, AP News
Yeah.
story here. A Florida man called 911
Uh-oh.
after going to the bathroom.
And seeing a manatee?
Not
Alligator. Seahawk.
Seahawk.
What do you call a thing? A peacock. Worm?
What worm goes like this?
A salamander.
Close enough. He found a bright green iguana
Oh.
swimming in his toilet.
Maybe he was letting his sauna.
It could be.
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale Battalion Chief Stephen Golan told the Miami Herald the man, quote, freaked out
Can I tell you
and
something?
didn't know what to do. Yeah.
Iguanas change color, so if he did poopies, it would have been brown. Aren't they color changers?
I think they're one of those, like a lizard.
They're color changers.
Oh, man. To paraphrase, he sat down, basically, or he came close to sitting down, and then looked in the toilet and saw an iguana in it.
It wouldn't hurt him.
To paraphrase Bill Cosby, first he said it, then he did it.
I'm glad he didn't flush it.
You all know.
Iguanas are cute.
Firefighter Jeff Corus put on a sterile glove,
Oh, good.
reached in and grabbed the iguana, took it outside, and released it
Nice.
into the wild.
That's nice. That's a
Yeah.
happy, we don't have an iguana, but that's a happy story.
That's a happy ending.
That's like, what is that? Catch and release, right?
Yeah.
I like that. I'm glad.
So a happy iguana. Let's end on that.
That's a very nice story. I like that.
Me
one.
too. Me too. Greeley Crimes and Old Times for this Saturday, March 23rd, 2019, here in the Dave's Gone By Daverhood. Come on, play.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool. I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi-yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Oh boy, chicken's going crazy
I love
today.
that. He feels like that's like a chorus of chickens.
Well,
He
because
likes
Greeley is known for its chickens, yeah.
Yes, he likes it. There were no hobo stories. I was very disappointed. If you could write the trib and say, where have all the hobo stories gone?
Yeah. Where have
miss
all
them,
the
yes.
hobos gone?
Yes.
Long, yeah.
Long time.
Passing. Anywho, welcome to all the folks who have been watching and listening live on this Saturday.
Saturday in the park. Must have been the 4th of July.
It's not the 4th of July. It's March 23rd. It's the 690th
This
edition
is the
of Dave's
last
Gone
show
By.
before our anniversary. Did you mention that?
Oh, my. Because Joyce and I
Yes.
come, let's see, hold on. Today's the 23rd.
Yes.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This coming Friday
Yeah.
is going to be Joyce and my 22nd or 21st?
We were at 98.
No, the 21st anniversary. Yeah, I
It
keep
would've
track of these
been,
things.
it would've been.
Actually, not divorce me.
Yeah.
No. So, any memories you want to share before we do other stuff in the show? I mean,
No, I think that March is very unpredictable. So before our wedding, there was a snowstorm,
Mhm.
and then the wedding, it was like 90 degrees. It went from
well, it wasn't that. It was
went
nice
from
out.
complete
Yeah,
snow to complete nice weather.
because God was watching, and He said, "For these two, let me make
No,
it
he
nice."
said, I know David wants to eat the duck hors d'oeuvres, so we got to make it nice weather.
Yeah. But we have these cheap ass photographers, and so because it was really nice weather, it was sunny out.
Well, I don't
And
think they were cheap.
They
I-
packed. Well, they were all
Yeah,
right, but
yeah.
they brought us all outside instead of doing proper
Yeah,
lit,
yeah,
real
yeah,
photographs. And all we were doing is just staring into sunlight,
I
like
know.
can barely
that's,
get.
it's like Chernobyl.
decent
It's like
photographs.
Chernobyl. David.
Yeah, but we had a very nice ceremony. It was at the Temple
Aboda,
of
of
Aboda.
course. Where will we get married? But a temple that's
Well,
based on work. I mean, that's like so.
Well, also we didn't want to spend $90,000 on a ceremony.
No,
so-
we wanted to do it in the house, but we couldn't get the house in time because the woman hadn't got the electricity certified. So you can't get a mortgage on a house if they think it's vacant space and it's livable area. So that's why.
So no, they did a fabulous. I mean, no complaints really about the wedding. People raved about the food,
Yeah.
which is really the most important. If you're going to have people sit through the
Yes,
vows and the wedding and schlep and dress up,
Yes.
you want to give them some yummy food, and we did. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah. And they gave.
Well, and it was kosher, right? Because it was in the.
Was Kenny Cumbert kosher? No.
It wasn't kosher.
I don't think so. No.
Oh, maybe not. Well, maybe they just had some kosher offerings.
I don't know. I think so. We couldn't afford kosher. What do you think? We're not rich.
I know, right? Tell me about
We're
it.
working class, poor people. We're
We're
artists.
working
class.
poor. Yeah,
I'm academic, and you're academic.
I'm part-time
so
working. I'm
you're-
half working
You're
poor.
artist class.
That's
We're
right.
Not, we're not in the. We're.
I'm an artist with no class, basically. That's my.
That's your self-analysis, though.
Basically, yes.
You
Yeah.
can claim it.
And I could use some analysis again, let me tell you.
Yeah,
But
that's
anyway,
right.
here's
hold
what.
on, hold on.
Oh, we haven't done potato
You said we
hotline.
need analysis. Go ahead.
All right, wait. Your potato.
Yeah, but you gotta hold
I gotta
him.
call him. No, I gotta call him.
Okay.
Hold on, and then we'll put him on camera. But because you know what, I need help. I need psychological help. So the best way to get that is to call the potato hotline, which we have here.
Yes.
So
That's
let
an
me just
advanced
dial.
phone.
Oh, there's a dial phone too. So gotta dial 1 before everything. 1. It's an international number, so this is going to go on a while. And, okay. Hello? Wait. It's ringing.
Potato Hotline, please hold. Do you know the way to San Jose? La la la. Hello?
I'll do it this way.
What do you
Okay.
need?
Yeah, let it hang. There we go.
So, sir, ma'am,
Oh, yeah. Hi, Potato.
Yes,
This is
ma'am.
Potato. Hi. Yeah. I was told to.
Please hold. Oye, ¿cómo va? Qué rico. Ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. Hi.
We shipped your package to Cleveland. It should arrive on Friday.
No, this is not the number I'm calling. I'm looking for.
Ma'am, please hold. Oh, ma'am, I'm sorry, ma'am.
I'm not a ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
What is your problem, ma'am?
Yes. See, this is
my name is Lovely Potato. How can I help you?
well, let's see. I've got an anniversary.
Would you like to hear about our incentive offers for cardholders who have good credit ratings?
Not now. If we
Please
maybe.
press 7.
I'm a
Please
doubt.
press 7.
Okay.
Or hold. Please hold for the next available potato operator.
Okay, I'm doing it.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Qué es tu problema?
Wait, no hablo español, señor.
Sí, ¿cómo estás?
No, estoy bien.
Ma'am?
No, soy un señor. ¿Eh?
¿Listo?
Sí, estoy listo.
Please hold. Do you know the way to San Jose? La 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 la. Rocky Mountain High. Hello, ma'am?
Yes, hi.
Ma'am?
Okay, look, I'm just trying to get some advice because I've got an anniversary coming up
Yes.
with my wife for 21 years,
Yes.
and I want to get her something nice.
Yes.
But what do you get the woman who because we're kind of poor, doesn't have anything, but doesn't want much? Like she doesn't want chocolates.
Could you give us your bank account number and routing number, sir, and your social security number and your date of birth? And any identifying characteristics we need to purchase things.
Why would you need any of this?
Because we need to purchase things for you.
Oh, for me? Well, can you give me an example of what you might be buying?
It begins with K.
K.
Ends with up.
Knives and forks? I don't think she
Ends with up.
Up. K.
Ketchup.
K-cup. Oh, K-cup.
Ketchup, sir.
I don't think my wife.
Ma'am.
First of all, we have a lot of ketchup. Yeah.
Ma'am, why are you so hairy?
It's a genetic thing.
Please hold. I'm going to upgrade your call.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, this is Supervisor Potato.
Oh, hi. Thank you. I'm so glad to talk to a supervisor.
Ma'am, what's your problem?
Well, the problem is, I'm trying to get some advice on what. Yes.
Ma'am, please speak clearly. I don't understand. Wait, I think we have it. What's the number we can reach you, ma'am? We have a bad connection, ma'am. Please hold.
Okay.
Ma'am?
Yes, hi, yes.
What's going on?
Well, I'm trying to get advice besides ketchup, which we really
Ma'am,
don't.
there are 10 callers in front of you. Please hold. Rocky Mountain High. La, 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 la. Ma'am?
Yes.
What's your concern?
My concern is I want to get a present that would be appropriate
Yeah.
for my wife of 21 years.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want candy, and flowers are, they die in a couple of days.
Yes.
And she wants jewelry, but I'm not going to buy
Yes.
jewelry. I want her to pick it out.
Yeah.
Are you actually listening to me?
You're boring me, sir. Please, I'm typing while I'm doing this.
Well,
I'm running my Ponzi scheme. Make it fast.
Well, what is your advice on what to get her besides ketchup?
I don't have a wife, sir. I'm a potato.
Well, when you get gifts for other potatoes, what do you buy them?
We have no monies. We don't get gifts.
Okay.
Why are you harassing me? Hold on, sir. Ma'am?
Yeah.
Please do not harass our customer service people by telling them they have no families or lives.
All I'm trying to find out is how they celebrate their birthdays and anniversaries and
They don't have
Shavuos.
birthdays. They're not real.
Wait, what?
They don't have birthdays.
Well, what about anniversaries?
They don't. They can't marry.
What about St. Patrick's Day? They don't
They
celebrate.
don't celebrate any holidays.
Okay. Well,
Oh, I feel so abused.
I apologize. I think. Potato.
Ma'am,
Yes.
are you free tomorrow night for a date?
I just told you that I've been married for 21 years, so yes, I'll date anything at this point.
Ma'am, what do you look like?
You don't want to know. Well, just tune in to Facebook. I'm actually on camera live now. You can see
You're
me.
a handsome lady. But, ma'am, you have a lot of facial hair. You need some electrology.
I know. There's some depilatory stuff. My ears sprout. My nose
Yes,
sprouts.
And you have that weird one eyebrow lash, but I'll date you.
Well, that's very...
Ma'am, are you on Tinder?
No, I'm actually not.
Oh.
But are you?
Yes. That's
So-
how I meet all my ladies and men's.
Do you actually... So what is that like, Potato?
I don't know.
Well, you just said that's how you meet people.
I meet them
or
and then I
potatoes.
say, I'm a potato, watch me dance. And then I leave.
Well, that's kind of I guess sort of a Tinder date, isn't it? All right, look, Potato, I've got a show to do, so I'm gonna hang up. But it's kind of, I guess it's nice
I'm
to meet
reading
you.
the paper while we're talking.
Oh, I can see that. Anyway, I'm gonna go now, Potato. But thank you for
Please
for
hold,
help.
please hold, please hold.
Okay.
Click.
Hello. Hello. Well, there we have it. There we have Ask a Potato on Potato Hotline. Some advice. So, hon, was any of that helpful to you? Is there anything that you heard there that you would?
I didn't know you were on Tinder.
The Potato is. I'm not.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
I'm not on Tinder.
Good.
I'd
That's
like to be, but no, just kidding.
I'm glad you're
Yeah.
not.
Are you?
No.
Okay.
No one would Tinder me.
I mean, no one would Tinder you. You're a very pretty lady.
I wouldn't be Tinder.
You would you? I mean, if you were not married and if you were in your 20s and kind of single and looking to mingle and safe.
No, I would go on one of those electronic dating sites for people, not for Tinder, but for making.
Well, Tinder is not for serious relationships,
Yeah.
so you wouldn't even.
No, I would do it just for serious, like for dating, not for like Tinder.
Okay, well, that's what I'm wondering. I mean, yeah.
I would try it.
No, but you wouldn't try Tinder. You would
No,
try
other ones.
Plenty o' Fish or what?
Any other things, but not that one.
Okay, just checking. What about you, Chicken? I guess.
I think Chicken's on some roofies and Chicken doesn't care.
I've already made 2 cock jokes today. I'm not going to make another. Yeah, I'm trying to think of another version of
that's
feathers.com.
you played yourself.
Birds of a Feather is probably
Birds of a Feather's cute.
I'll bet you that's a dating
For
site.
bird
somewhere.
lovers. People love birds.
Maybe, or furries.
Aw. Chicken's not a furry.
They're feathery. What are they?
They're foul. Foul dating.
Well, yeah. Oh, I had. Oh, this will set him off.
Uh-oh.
I went to a Chinese restaurant in New York last week.
Oh, no.
And I got their appetizers because I wasn't.
Chicken feet?
I had chicken feet, and it was disappointing because it was just breading.
Yeah,
They take the feet. They take the feet of the chicken,
God.
and they put them, I don't know what, they bread them and they crust them, and the breading was tasty, but there's nothing on it.
Of course not. It's bone.
Very, very disappointing. I also had like dumplings and stuff. That was fine. But I'm not getting that again.
No, I don't think you should.
But why do they even bother to serve it?
You had good chicken feet. Remember we went with Mihal and G in Chinatown?
Mm.
And there's like one dumpling house they really liked. And you and G shared it. I remember you and G shared it.
They were and
you liked it.
They're tasty, but there's nothing there.
Because it's feet.
Right. Well, yeah.
I mean, like, what do you expect? It's
toenails or something.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Love will keep us in chickens.
Oh.
It's the captain in toenail.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
Oh, by the way, hey, Lisa from Colorado, our artist and writer friend.
I invited Lisa several times.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
For that, yeah.
And Jolinda and Scott and Patty and Jeffrey and Fred and Michael and so many folks have tuned in.
Is it Scott your cousin?
It's no, I don't know. Is it just a friend?
Not your cousin, yeah.
No.
Okay.
Not another friend, Scott.
No, I'm thinking of your cousin that begins with an A last name.
No.
He's not.
Where are you, cousin? How come you're not tuned in?
I invited him.
Maybe you are. And Lisa says hi and gave me a thumbs up. So hi to you too. Thanks, Lisa. Well, we're doing the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio, radio program of the stream.
Good Lord.
Something like that. On this March 23rd.
That's a lot of doings.
A lot of doings.
Yeah.
We've had so much fun already. We've had Kim Sharp talking to Rabbi Saul.
Yeah.
We've had our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. We've gone through Greeley Crimes at all times.
But he's the actor, not the producer.
He
is the...
Wait, who, what, huh?
Your guest is an actor.
Director.
Director, not the producer.
Yeah, what producer?
No, I got confused. I didn't know
he was an associate artistic director
That's what
at a theater.
Confused, yeah.
And I want to remind people, by the way, they can see 2 shows.
But he's an actor too, right?
No.
No? Okay.
I mean, he may have tried his hand at that, but he's a director and He was a literary manager. So he has directed 2 shows that you can go see in New York. One of them is closing this weekend. It's called Death of a Driver. The second one starts on March 31st. They're both at Urban Stages. The second one is called The Way We Get By. Urban Stages is on West 30th Street. Tickets are at brownpapertickets.com.
That's a good name. I like the name of that site.
That was the one I used when I was doing Miracle of Long
I
Johns.
really like that idea. It's cute.
Well, why brown paper ticket? Why is that cute?
Because I like it because it's like you do a brown bag lunch. It's just something like, it's like bring your, it's like a very like, you get good quality, but it's without all of the fancy stuff.
Well, the fees are lower, lower than telecharge.
No, but it's like and if you do a brown bag series, you get really good speakers, but people bring their own lunch. So it's like you're going there to listen to the people and learn, but you don't go there for all of the bells and whistles. Right. I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot.
I actually went to an ileostomy conference, and everybody there had a brown bag. So it was kind of...
David,
I kid. I joke. I joke a little comedy there. Well, do you want to join me for Inside Broadway?
That's your show. That's your deal.
Well, or we can do Storytime and save Inside Broadway. Do you want to? I can read you a story about New Jersey.
No.
You sure?
No.
Because that's what we have left on the program is Storytime or Inside Broadway. I
think you should do that alone. Chicken and potato will be with you, and happy phone.
Yeah. Is there anything? Yeah, those are the things we have to do.
Is there anything else you want to? You need anything?
I'm actually kind of good. I got my beverage. I got my potatoes. I got your love. I'm basically good.
Thank you.
So go enjoy, and I'll do because as promised. We've talked about theater with Kim Sharp, but we have more theater to talk about because I've been a playwright and a bit of a director, an actor, a theater journalist, and critic for many, many years now. Love talking about the theater, go into the theater, reporting back to you. And we call that segment Inside Broadway. Inside Broadway, a look at theater on and off Broadway and beyond. Brought to you by Total Theater and Performing Arts Insider. Curtain going up. Inside Broadway we go, and we do it every Saturday here on Dave's Gone By. Love to talk about the theater and share theater news with you and also some reviews as well. Hey, guess who's wandering? Oh, he's a wandering, and he's gonna be on Broadway. Dion DiMucci, and of course the band Dion and the Belmonts, a couple of other bands, and also a very long-lasting solo career. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's the latest person to be getting a musical based on his life. It's going to be called The Wanderer, and they're going to try it out at the Paper Mill Playhouse in Millburn, New Jersey in spring of 2020. So not this spring, but a year from now, if all goes well, Broadway will be next. Now, Dion and the Belmonts were huge. They had a lot of hits. After that, Dion went solo. He was actually the first rock and roller to be signed to Columbia Records. He had his issues. He battled substance abuse for many years. He found Jesus, and he also had a hit solo called Abraham, Martin, and John, which is a very different kind of song, obviously, from the early rock and roll, like Run Around Sue and Teenager in Love and The Wanderer that he did. The book for The Wanderer will be by Charles Messina. It will be directed by Kenneth Ferrone, whose last assignment was getting through that Fox TV live edition of Rent. That wasn't quite live because the person broke his foot, but this show has been worked on since before like 2011. It's finally getting a big airing at Paper Mill. Dion says, this is kind of a quote here, it's only 12 miles from the Bronx to Broadway. Shouldn't have taken this long to get there, but it's the latest jukebox musical, because that's what we're getting now. We're getting either jukebox musicals or revivals, or musicals about high school students who don't fit in. But the jukebox musicals include The Cher Show, Ain't Too Proud, which is opening, or just opened this past week. This is the Temptations musical, Beautiful, the Carole King musical, Jersey Boys is off Broadway. We just get so many of them, maybe this will be a good one. It's The Wanderer, about the life of Dion, coming to Broadway possibly in fall of 2020. And now, do you remember the controversy, this terrible, controversial controversy about a year or so ago of Yanny, Laurel, Yanny, Laurel. Remember Yanny, Laurel? And I always heard Laurel, but it was always Yanny, or one or the other. It was always Laurel, and some people heard Yanny at different frequencies. Well, Broadway will be tuned to the frequency of Yanny in May. Remember I told you or maybe I forgot to tell you last week, that there's this thing where they're going to start having residencies of a week or 2 or 3 on Broadway of famous musical artists, because Bruce Springsteen came and broke the mold. He decided to do his solo show about his life and his music, and people were paying through the nose for tickets, and they loved it, and the critics loved it. So that opened the floodgates. And we know that Morrissey is going to be doing a show of his own, even though that's not connected to this particular syndicate that's now going to book Broadway theaters for a couple of weeks with famous people. So did they get like Neil Young, right, to follow Springsteen? Did they get, I don't know, like these Chrissy Hind, or the Pretenders, Chrissy Hind? Won't she be great for 2 or 3 weeks solo on Broadway, right? Or get people fairly late into their careers. Bring the Judy Collins in, bring the Joan Baez in, bring folks of that. No. What they're bringing, and I apologize for being dismissive about this, but from May 28th through June 2nd at the Lunt-Fontanne Theater, Yanny, Pure Yanny is the name of the show, an intimate evening with Yanny and his piano. Okay, maybe it'll be great. Maybe it'll be wonderful, and it'll make people reconsider this man's work. All I can say is that a friend of a friend, he was kind of dragged by his wife to see Barry Manilow about 15, 20 years ago, either on Broadway when he was doing the Broadway show, or maybe it was just to a concert. He's like, oh God, Barry Manilow, really? And then he went to the concert, and first of all, he didn't realize how many Barry Manilow songs he knew well enough to sing along to or hum to. And second of all, it was so fun, and he was so personable, and such an enjoyable concert. He had a wonderful time. So perhaps we will come out with a new respect for Yanny, former boyfriend of Linda Evans, coming to Broadway in May. Okay, I just mentioned that Ain't Too Proud opened on Broadway this past Thursday, and it's a jukebox musical about the Temptations. And basically, it's don't even have a lead character per se, because one thing about the Temptations is they lasted a long time, but they flipped almost every person in the band. So it's a story of how they had all these wonderful hits, but they also had internecine fights, and this guy left and this guy came and this guy came back and stuff, and all through it, they're also singing through the early 60s or probably even late 50s into the 70s, and the times are a-changing around them. So the show opened. I'm hoping to get to see it next week. I'll report about it. In his Wednesday column, our friend of the Daverhood, Michael Riedel, in the New York Post, noted that the final press preview had Washington Post critic Peter Marks sitting in a chair watching the show, or he sat down in his chair, and the chair collapsed. So that's what you really want when you have critics coming to see a show and the chair collapses under them. Meanwhile, same performance, a major producer had to leave the front row, he got a perfect seat, because an ailing theater goer nearby vomited all over him and his wife. Hey, come to a show. And they ended up sponging him down and giving him a bunch of paraphernalia and free t-shirts and stuff before the show, because they kind of had to change. But anyway, you think they're having some drinky winks before going to see Ain't Too Proud in that theater? Anywho, that's all pre-stuff. The show opened on Thursday. What did the critics think? Well, Greg Evans from Deadline.com said that the show is ruthlessly efficient. So it's like Mussolini directing it. A fine cast performs beloved songs well enough to conjure and honor the people they're playing, and it adds enough Broadway dazzle to give the show a slight edge over just seeing a Temptations cover band. Dominique Morisseau, who wrote the book of the musical, hits each biographical beat with all the finesse of a Wikipedia entry. But overall, kind of a mixed to positive review there from Greg Evans. And that was how a lot of the critics responded to Ain't Too Proud on Broadway. They're saying that the book was meh, it's just by the numbers storytelling about the band, but when the songs rock, the choreography rocks, it's slickly done. Here, New York Post, Joe Domanowitz, our friend of the Daverhood, who used to write for the Daily News, now he gets to write for the Post. He gave the show 2 3/4 stars. The songs light up the stage, but the show is drenched in gray and could use some of the humor of the Cher show. A big plus is Sergio Trujillo's choreography, its dazzling spins and splits and piston-precise steps. But a lot of familiarity hangs over Des McAnuff's staging. He's the director. He always has a good tagline ending to his reviews. Joe Domanowitz does. He said, "Proud the show is, but distinctive it ain't." Mez from Joe Domanowitz of the Post. How about Variety? Frank Rizzo. Kind of the same thing. He said, the performances are polished, the choreography is slick, but it's a melodramatic book, but the show does not drag. Candace Marie Woods electrifies in her featured role as Diana Ross in the show. Entertainment Weekly, Leah Greenblatt is the critic there, at least for this show. She gave it a B+. She liked it more than most. She's like, of course the story is broad. It's covering 64 years, 24 members of the band. What makes Ain't Too Proud to Beg memorable is the sheer overwhelming talent of the cast. And Barbara Schuler, writing for Newsday, writes that she echoes the others. The songs are slick and great, the book so-so. So it sounds like you're not going to have too bad a time and it goes to the Ain't Too Proud to Beg musical. And especially if that was your era, if you love those songs, you're not going to come away disappointed after 2.5 hours. And, if they were just to sing song after song after song in a review fashion, we'd say that might be better. But then again, you get overtired of hearing all this music. So you got the book basically to break up what would be a review. Ain't Too Proud, it's at, what theater is it in? Did I mention? No, you got to go find it on. Oh, I know where you can find it. Duh! How smart of me to do this. You can look in the pages of Performing Arts Insider, the Bible of Broadway since 1944. Every single show on, off, and off Broadway, right here in this wonderful journal. First of all, you've got all the shows listed. Every show that is running from previous seasons, opened this season or is about to open this season, and even opening in the next season. Plus, here's a little guide to the Broadway district. Next page, every single Broadway theater and what's in it. How many seats are in it? Who owns that theater? And when shows are opening and closing. And then a guide to the press agents, the folks who handle the shows. And then a day-by-day guide when shows are starting, previews, opening, and closing. Every single show on Broadway. Every single show off and off Broadway. Same thing. These are all the shows that are running currently as we speak. And these are shows that are going to be opening or starting previews or closing. For example, today is March 23rd. Now, granted, this is the almost the March 1st issue of Performing Arts Insiders. So let's see, March 23rd, today, starting previews at the new Victory Theater, The Nature of Forgetting. That's a show for families and kids. Also, let's see, ending today, The Price of Thomas Scott. I saw that show at the Mint Theater. It's really, really good. Go see it. The Price of Thomas Scott at the Mint. Princess Jia is playing. It's a Chinese thing at the Koch Theater up at Lincoln Center. And the play Imagining Madoff at 59 theaters. Also ending a show called Southern Promises at the Flea Theater. These are all, that's just one day, letting you know day by day, moment by moment, what's happening on and off Broadway on the stages of New York. We've also got a guide to awards and special events. We've also got comprehensive Broadway and off Broadway listings. Look at it. Look at every song. Let's look at Ain't Too Proud, since we just talked about it. The Life and Times of the Temptations is the subtitle. Look at all the people involved and their contact information. Look at that. That's the producers of the show. Okay, remember when a producer was Kermit Bloomgarden, when it was David Merrick, it was one or two names, they produced the show. Now it's humongous conglomerates of people that it takes to put on a 10 or 12 or $15 million musical on Broadway. Here's the theater that it's in, there's the dates that it's running. Ain't too proud. Every single show just like that. How do you get Performing Arts Insider? Go to the website, performingartsinsider.com. Performingartsinsider.com. It's a rather expensive publication, but the people who subscribe renew over and over again because they know there's no place they can get all this incredibly detailed information. You can open a dozen windows on your computer. You still won't find it all, and you'll waste all that time. Instead of just going into this magazine, using the table of contents, or using our very, very detailed index page, right? The ultimate page is the index of every show. Look at all those shows that are in this 40, 44, 48 page magazine every single month or 21 times a year. Performingartsinsider.com is the place to go to find out more. You can also pick up a single copy at Theater Circle in Midtown Manhattan. Performing Arts Insider, it is the Bible of Broadway. And by the way, Performing Arts Insider is put out by a company called Total Theater. And if you go to totaltheater.com, absolutely free, you can read thousands of Broadway reviews, off and off-Broadway reviews, regional theater, international theater, and festivals as well. Just go poking around. Go surf totaltheater.com. And by the way, I'm totally stoked that it is 11 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Time, here on Long Island. We're doing the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz. It's our 690th episode of the show. We're calling it Look Sharp on this March 23rd, and we're in the middle of Inside Broadway, telling you some theater stuff, because love to talk about the theater with you. Do I have some more theater news for you? I do. It was announced this week. Bit of information about the Tony Awards, and they've said that returning to host the Tonys this year will be Jimmy Corden. Yes, James Corden, the guy who's doing, is it The Late Show? He's one of the late night hosts, of course. He hosted the Tonys, I think, back in a couple of years ago. It wasn't last year. And I didn't put down too much information about this. I just know that he hosted the 70th Tonys, that he won a Tony Award for One Man, Two Governors, and that, of course, the Tonys are going to be coming again from Radio City Music Hall, happening on June 9th and broadcast live for 3 hours on CBS TV Eastern Time, 8 to 11. And if you're watching back when we were in Colorado, it'll be an hour delay unless you watch it online. But it's on CBS TV, the Tony Awards, hosted by James Corden. Well, also want to wish a happy anniversary, a Mormoniversary, to the Book of Mormon on Broadway, Trey Parker and Matt Stone's musical with Robert Lopez. It's at the Eugene O'Neill Theater on Broadway, and it opened back in 2011 on March 24th. So tomorrow, they begin their 9th year. They've already got almost 4,000 performances under their belt for the very, very funny, very smart Book of Mormon. If you've never seen it, you need to, and also get the cast album. It's one of the cast albums that's worth having. And it's not an album that you're going to listen to, say, over and over a couple of times a year. But if you want to be reminded of how catchy and really clever and smart some of the songs are, do get yourself the cast album as well. But a big congratulations to the folks of the Book of Mormon for starting their 9th year on Broadway. Well, the show that ran a whole bunch on Broadway many, many years ago has come back to Broadway. I just lost my cheat sheet, so hold on, can get it. A moment. Back on Broadway since, I think, November. It's one of the greatest musicals of all time. And there are people who put this as the absolute greatest musical of all time. And there's folks like me who have a personal bias for Fiddler on the Roof. Not just because of the Jewish thing, but just because it's great in so many ways. And then theater people, they love Gypsy. Gypsy's incredible. So, and they think that Gypsy is the best crafted overall musical. And then there are other people who might say Guys and Dolls, or other folks who are Rodgers and Hammerstein, and they say, no, South Pacific, or they'll say West Side Story is the best musical of all time. But if you were to roll back, especially 20 or 30 years ago, it was no question really that the best musical ever was My Fair Lady. So they revived My Fair Lady, and you know what? It doesn't get done that much on Broadway. They do it everywhere else. My Fair Lady, every college, every high school, every community theater was doing My Fair Lady. But they had a production 25 years ago. It was okay. You know, what wasn't great. Melissa Errico was in it. She was terrific. But it was all right. And that was kind of disappointing. What happened was people were My Fair Lady'd out. The songs were all very well known because it was still that era, just ending the era before rock and pop music completely took over the airwaves and hogged the spotlight of all the songs that would be on Billboard's top 10. So you would hear I Could Have Danced All Night on the radio. You would hear On the Street Where You Live, Mitch Miller doing it, or Johnny Mathis doing songs like that. It was still that era. So people knew it backwards and forwards. And if you brought back My Fair Lady, because it ran so long in its initial iteration, right? I think from 1956 it started, and then in 1959 and 60, 61. So it ran so long and became such a part of the zeitgeist that they didn't necessarily want to revive it that much. And when they did it 25 years ago, people kind of went meh. So people were a bit nervous about having My Fair Lady revived on Broadway last year. But they didn't need to fret because Bartlett Sher is directing it. Now, Bartlett Sher, he's just got this magic touch. He just has a way of doing these revivals that are super high class and super well done, and not just nicely staged remembrances of how great the musicals are, but almost electrifying, almost to the point where you're immersed in how great these shows truly are. And boy, oh boy, does he do that for My Fair Lady this time. He staged that South Pacific that was revelatory a couple of years ago for Lincoln Center. He also staged the To Kill a Mockingbird that's on Broadway now. Anyway, you know My Fair Lady, for gosh sakes. It's Alan J. Lerner and Frederick Lowe adapting George Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion, which would seemingly be one of the most unadaptable things into a musical that you could ever imagine. Who would adapt a Shaw play, which is basically talky generally and didactic and non-theatrical in a musical sense? But then again, you never know. You get geniuses at the peak of their form, and they've cracked it. They figured out a way to get the class structure stuff in there, and also the seeds of a romance that we can follow, and characters that we grow to care about, and a lead actress and a lead role that we're with her from the very first minute. Well, My Fair Lady, I finally got to see it. I didn't get to see it when Lauren Ambrose was playing Eliza Doolittle. And she's this, do I really have to even tell you the plot? A Cockney flower girl. She's selling her flowers on the street. She's fairly comfortable where she is, but also she kind of wishes there were more to her life, and she had some money, and she had a different life. And then she meets Professor Henry Higgins, and a man that he meets, that he's been looking to meet, Colonel Pickering. They strike up a quick friendship, but she overhears them, and she's worried that he's a cop and that he's writing down everything that she's saying, but he's really writing it down because he's a linguistics expert. And he's a professor, and he wants to hear just how these people talk, these low-class, quote-unquote, commoner people, and the terrible way that he feels they butcher the English language, and that what's keeping them in their place is not a social system that's racked against them, and it's not their own poverty, but if they use proper English, they would be able to elevate themselves in society. Well, she makes him a proposition. Everybody figures it's the other way around, but when you see the show, it's like, no, she comes to visit him and asks, give me elocution lessons, make me a proper lady, make me talk proper, instead of the way that she is talking common from the streets. And he takes her up on it. He bets Colonel Pickering that within 3 or 6 months he can turn her into a duchess, which, of course, the story is that he kind of does, but never quite accepting or realizing that he's dealing with a human being and not just a scientific subject or just someone that he will help a lot, and then turn her back out and she can do as she pleases because she'll be in a different social stratum at that point. Well, I had the delight of sitting through My Fair Lady last weekend with Laura Benanti playing Eliza Doolittle, born to play the role. She begged to play the role. She campaigned for it. They didn't give it to her. They gave it to Lauren Ambrose, whom we know from 6 Feet Under. And Ambrose got very good reviews. They said they were surprised at how well she sang. She brought a certain something to the role. She was really good. But Benanti pitched and lobbied, and they let her take over the role just a couple of months ago. And she is born to play, as Laura Benanti is born to basically do anything. Fantastic voice, beautiful woman, fine actress. She can dance. I don't know if she's a triple threat in terms of dancing. She's not called upon to do a tremendous amount of dance in the show, even though her song is I Could Have Danced All Night. But she's just, from the moment she sets foot on the stage, you know that you are in the hands of a master, glorious Broadway actress. And she's playing off the guy who has been playing Henry Higgins from the beginning, Harry Haddon Payton. I hope I'm saying his full name. I always get his name wrong, but it is Harry Haddon Payton. He is very good. He is he doesn't have to hog the spotlight. He starts reserved. He knows, we all know that she is the center, quote unquote, of the show, but he holds his own. And he has a very nice arc that he follows from being this reserved, prim, doesn't want to deal with people, doesn't understand women whatsoever, although he brings one into his life. And then you see him slowly unravel. And you see that he's being, damn, I've grown accustomed to her face. It's a terrific performance. And boy, oh boy, let's not leave out also, where's the fellow playing Pickering? Because he's very funny. And he's a bit of a scene stealer too. Oh, I wrote all this down. Where is he? Alan Cordiner. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Alan Cordiner playing Colonel Pickering. Then there's a scene where, you know, you figure you'll be watching Higgins, but his relationship and the reactions of Colonel Pickering when Higgins is saying, I'm just a mild-mannered sort. I'm an ordinary man. I'm not. I don't have a temper. And the looks that Pickering is shooting him are absolutely priceless. Those kinds of moments run all through this My Fair Lady, which is almost 3 hours long. Okay, it's a long piece. It is a classic musical. The songs, you remembered why they are so great, why they are so brilliantly written. You get the care that has been taken with this revival. It's been cast beautifully. Every scene has been calibrated beautifully. I would say that this is nearly perfect theater going. Two quibbles, and other critics have brought this up, and there are things that haven't quite been solved. Our friend of the Daverhood, Danny Burston, is playing Alfie Doolittle. He is Eliza's very ne'er-do-well father, and he's got two great, big, boisterous songs in the show. And the first one's pretty good. He doesn't quite bring it over the top. This is the one where he's, oh boy. I'm blowing it. Somebody text me or message me right here with Alfie Doolittle's first song, With a Little Bit of Luck. That's it. With a little bit of luck. Nice scene. It works. And he's a very good Alfie Doolittle. In the second act, he gets his really big number, I am getting married in the morning, rather reluctantly. He's been given this big sum of money, and now he has to change his class status, and he's not happy about it. Well, it becomes this big, boisterous second act number with everybody cavorting because they're going to give Alfie a big send-off while he's still old Alfie, while he still gets to drink and carouse and be a ne'er-do-well. Fair enough. So everybody's boisterous and dancing and tumbling and singing, and it's crazy, and it's supposed to be. It's, as Jacques Bertel called it in his book about the theater, a number about noise. And it's a number about just, bursting the stage with sound and color and life and energy. Fine, great, fabulous. For no particular reason, and I'm I'm sure some people will say, oh, you're just being homophobic, Dave, as if I were, but in the middle of I'm getting married in the morning, suddenly you start getting all these men dressed as women, made up with gowns and wigs, and they join the thing. Why? What would that have to do with 1890s, early 1900s England? They would have been arrested right on the spot. No man would have, except maybe in the music hall as kind of a comic act. But they wouldn't come out of the woodwork. And it's a weird thing, when the first thing you see in the middle of the number, they've got a woman in, what do you call it, the other drag. So you see a woman in a tux with a little mustache. And I'm thinking, oh, they're just doing that because they need doubling, because it's not that huge a cast and they need people come on paying men. Okay, we'll buy into it, that's fine. But then I realized, no, they're just gender bending. 100 and something years ago, it really feels jarring and it throws the scene off. It doesn't need to be there. This is an old, I mean, they've there are certain old-fashioned-ish ideas in the show that have to be massaged a little in the playing in this Me Too era. But that just felt like a sop to modern gender everything theater, where every show has to question and include trans and questioning and men as women, women as men. It's like, no, it's My Fair Lady. Leave it alone. You would have had a perfect scene there if you hadn't started messing with all of that. More importantly, and this is the one thing, this is why I'm going to give it 3 3/4 stars rather than 4 stars, the final moment of the show. We know, I'm not going to give anything away. It's not a spoiler alert to talk about the plot of My Fair Lady. But Eliza, she can't take Freddie Eynsford Hill, this rather simpleton, rich, handsome, very nicely singing young man. Do I have Freddie's, the actor playing Freddie there? He is, where is he? Christian Dante White, who is a black man, by the way. And that I have no problem with. And that some of the characters, some of the actors are black in a time when they would not have been. That's modern, fine. It allows actors to do what they do regardless of color. He could be Chinese, he could be Jewish. I mean, he happens to be black, playing Freddie Eynsford Hill, fine. And what's nice about his performance is there's nothing wrong with him. He sings beautifully. He dresses really well. He smiles, he's appealing, he's attractive, he's a nice guy. And yet we know from the moment he's on stage that this character is a lightweight, that he's not good enough for what Eliza needs for a partner. And it's very difficult because there isn't much to Freddie. He just waits by her doorstep, waiting to sing his big song. So just from that, instead of making him an obvious idiot, instead of making him like, no, it's very subtly done and wonderfully done that we know, no, Freddie can give her a certain security and bring her very easily into a society that she has now become accustomed to. But no, she needs something that only Higgins can give her. Unfortunately, Higgins loads her with a ton of other kinds of baggage. So we get to the end, and she rejects Freddie, and she goes back to, per se, Henry Higgins, and he's like, Liza, where the devil are my slippers? And you're all ready to go, oh, boo-hoo-hoo. And they could work it. They could make that moment like a Taming of the Shrew thing that they do in modern times, where she can bring him his slippers, but we know that there's a balance there, that either she's a little bit on top or they are meant to be truly even, and it's a perfect love story. And like, how moving, how tender. But instead of that, Bartlett changes the game in the last 30 seconds of the show. She comes back, he says, where are my slippers? And she just exits, but it's not a doll's house exit through the door. She just kind of walks up through the aisle, which is weirdly ambiguous, which is really disappointing. It's kind of like, wait a minute, make a choice, okay? Are you saying she has come back to Higgins and they have an understanding and now she's just going off stage? Or are you saying, no, she's not going to Freddie Eynsford Hill, she's not going to Higgins either, she's just kind of ambiguously walking into the ozone, back up through the aisles. We don't actually know what that ending represents. And when you have invested 3 hours in this wonderful musical, in these people, it's not enough. Make a different choice, make a better choice. They could solve that, literally, with restaging. They could do it in about 15 minutes. Restage, redo the lights, and either have them have a moment. And what's kind of interesting is, just last night, I saw the revival on Broadway of Kiss Me, Kate. I'm not going to talk about it this week. I'll talk about it next week. They're not as good a musical, not as great a staging overall as My Fair Lady. And yet with Kiss Me, Kate, they got the last moment perfectly right. And it makes such a difference. Because it's a very good revival of Kiss Me, Kate, and quite enjoyable, has its issues, even though it's a very four-square, very old-fashioned staging of Kiss Me, Kate. But, at the very end, you're like, oh, big happy ending, boisterous, yeah, they're off. And then they take a moment for something that's quite lovely. And it's, a really pure, beautiful moment. And it bumps their whole feeling about the show just by the last 30 seconds of what they do. With My Fair Lady, the opposite. The last 30 seconds, it's like, you're on this incredible, like, oh, are they not going to get together? They're going to meet each other in the middle. And I've loved all these characters. I've loved the songs and I've loved the staging. And it's been so wonderful. And it's like, oh no, what are they doing? But even so, you have to get yourself tickets to My Fair Lady on Broadway. It's being done by Lincoln Center Theater uptown at their Vivian Beaumont Theaters on West 65th Street. It is, I could sit through it again tomorrow. This is something people could sit through once a week, every week of their lives, and feel the joy and beauty of a great revival of My Fair Lady. 3 3/4 stars. Ah, yes, the pavement is not touching my feet as I even remember and speak about it. I'm tingling from My Fair Lady. Let's play just a moment or two of the original. This is the 19th, actually not quite original, because this is after the Broadway production, but the cast album from London, 1959, with, of course, Rex Harrison and Stanley Holloway and Julie Andrews. I Could Have Danced All Night.
Bed, I couldn't go to bed. My head's too light to try to sit it down. Sleep, I couldn't sleep tonight, not for all the jewels in the crown. I could have danced all night.
Oh, and by the way, I know I just ended the segment of Inside Broadway with My Fair Lady. How did I not mention Rosemary Harris playing Henry's mother?
You on drugs?
She's on stage, I think, for 12 minutes in the whole show, and talk about an actress. I mean, she's 91.
Age is no bar.
My wife is feeding me cookie here. She is so perfect. And she's also a replacement cast member. She is so funny. She is so endearing. She is so smart. And you'd see it if you just see it for Rosemary Harris. But no, you don't want to see it for Laura Benanti and Harry Haddon Payton, and also Danny Burston. All right, let me finish the cookie that my Aunt Esther made.
With nuts.
Chocolate chip cookie with nuts. Thank you, Auntie Essie. Well, you just gave me half your cookie. Now you have to take half of mine.
Okay. That's very kind of you.
Thank you, darling. Here, look, share this with me.
Okay.
So, well, I'm actually offering also the folks at home. Here, have some cookie. Isn't that looking good? Why does it look red? It looks red on camera. It's like cranberry, but no, it's chocolate chip. Anywho, before we're not quite finished with the show, but before we finish the show, I want to remind people one more time about a guest on the show. We've had Kim Sharp, who is directing 2 off-Broadway or off-Broadway shows that you can see now off-Broadway. One of them is just this weekend, Death of a Driver. It's taking place at Urban Stages on West 30th Street. And then starting on March 31st and playing through April 14th, you can go see the play he directed. It's called The Way We Get By. You can get tickets at brownpapertickets.com. So Kim T. Sharp is now a friend of the Daverhood. He's been on the program. And when that happens, we consider these people friends and family of the show. Friends of the Daverhood, we call them. So We keep tabs. Somebody's, maybe it's Kim giving us thumbs up. I love the Friends of the Neighborhood, and I like to tell you what they've been up to. Where, because after they do our show, they go on to do other things. They go into other shows. They write more books. They write songs. They, I don't know. What else?
They get released from prison.
And especially when they get released from prison, that's an exciting thing.
Yeah, you have a large convict, though.
We do. So these are my convictions.
Sometimes they ask you to show a little more cleavage.
There we go.
Whoa!
For the Friends of the Daverhood. So it's basically us telling you where you can see and watch the people who have been on this program before. Oh my God! George tuned in. George from the Dominican Republic and our website dude.
George! Ask him how Francis is doing.
George says, Dave is the best. George, I really do want to talk to you about redoing my website. I'm trying to get the money together to do it.
We miss him.
We miss you terribly. We hope your
When we're
family's...
back on the islands, I think of how George and Francis and David and I used to have the breakfast and talk about the website.
Yeah.
Remember the first one they wanted to do red, white, and blue?
20 years ago. Oh my God.
Amazing.
Yeah. So George, let's talk. I'm almost there. I'm working here. I'm trying to save a few pennies to do what we were talking about 2.5 years ago and finally fix up my website for reals. But it's great that you're tuning in, and thank you, man.
You tell George he's just an awesome person.
You are an awesome person, George. And
that's what I said. Tell him I said that.
Health and happiness, and hope you're doing great.
Mm-hmm.
So he's also a friend of the neighborhood. He's been on the show talking about life in the Dominican Republic, and power outages.
People call it DR, honey.
We're DR on the download. That's where we are. Anywho, other friends of the neighborhood. Oh gosh, I've got to bring it down a little bit. I've got to kind of. Unfortunately, and I'm all hyped up and excited about George and all these people who are in the neighborhood. But I want to wish condolences, actually, to the actress Catherine Russell. We know her because she has been off Broadway in Perfect Crime since that show opened. She's done thousands and thousands of performances there. But she lost her partner. She lost her longtime fella, Patrick Robustelli, last Friday. He even did a video cameo. Sorry?
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And if you ever see Perfect Crime, he did a video cameo in Perfect Crime. I think he was more of a chef and owned restaurants and stuff. But sorry, Catherine. And our condolences go out to you. Now on Amazon Prime, fantasy comedy called Abnormal Attractions. Woohoo. It stars Malcolm McDowell, but check out the Friends of the Neighborhood. Gilbert Gottfried's in it.
No.
And this is unbelievably amazing. Richmond Shepard is in it. He has a role as the Sandman. It's apparently this very goofy sci-fi fantasy comedy horror film. It seems really cool. But Richmond Shepard has a role in there. And this is new. This is a film that has just been released on Amazon Prime. So, Richmond is not a young man. I think he's 89 years old and still doing what he does, which is fantastic. So yay to both Richmond and Gilbert Gottfried. And yay to Frank Wildhorn, our theatrical friend of the neighborhood. What? We have a Frank Wildhorn connection, babe.
No.
The night I asked you to marry me.
When was that?
It was 22.5 years ago. The night I asked my wife to marry me, we were at the theater seeing one of the iterations of the Scarlet Pimpernel.
And then we went to TJF Friday to get chicken wings.
Yeah, that was back when you were not vegetarian.
It was a very unusual. When did I become veg?
Oh, many years later than that. But we, weren't in love with Scarlet Pimpernel. I liked it more than you did. That's the name is. Scarlet Pimpernel is the guy who's making believe it anyway.
Isn't he a pimp?
Well, he's got the pimp hat on.
Yeah, he's a pimp. I think he's a pimp.
He could be a pimp. But anyway, we're talking about Jekyll and Hyde, which remains his best known, most popular musical, Frank Wildhorn. Jekyll and Hyde is going to be getting a movie.
Oh, who's playing Jekyll and who's playing Hyde?
It's too early to say. But
scary.
Alexander Dinelaris, who wrote the screenplay for that movie Birdman, he's adapting Jekyll and Hyde, the 1997 musical, into a film musical. So we'll probably be seeing that
That's scary.
Yeah, keep cutting off my head when that's better.
That's super scary.
So Congratulations also to Tobia Rossi. I don't know who that is, but
Who is that?
his play Hide and Seek won the In Scena Italian Theater Festival's Mario Fratti Award.
Mario. You said his daughter's writing, right? She's
Valentina, yes, a director and a writer, yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So, but Mario, he endowed
A scholarship?
an award,
Oh, an award, huh?
for playwrights to the In Scena Italian Theater
He was
Festival.
always very supportive of a playwright's work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Mario's a playwright himself. He's best
Yeah.
known for writing the Italian adaptation that then, or adapting the Italian, well, he did something to the movie 8.5 by Fellini that ultimately led to the musical 9.
He made it a 9, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He bumped it up to a notch to 9.
He gave it an extra star on Yelp.
Speaking of stars, Anita Gillette has
Uh-oh.
been a star of TV and
Thinks he's a star.
oh, there you go.
Next time he's going to be wearing sunglasses and a low beret.
Well, Chicken should have been in Birdman, don't you think? Get it, Birdman?
Chicken's not equity.
Oh, you're right. I guess not. Huh. Exactly. That's my cracked humor. Anywho, where Anita Gillette just was nominated, for a Daytime Emmy Award for a guest performer on the Amazon Prime series After Forever. So congratulations to
Is
her.
that the one about death?
I don't know. I no offense, I don't know it, Anita, but congratulations to you. And by the way, Jackie the Joke Man Martling is going to be at Dangerfields twice, tonight at 8:30 and again at 10:30. If you've never seen, I've never seen him in person. I really want to. But Jackie Mason, man, Jackie Martling, he just hammers you. He's like Penny Youngman. He tells a joke, you laugh a little, tells another joke. By the 5th joke, you can't stop because he's just punching them at you, joke after joke after joke. He's really great at what he does. Jackie the Joke Man Martling, and he's just a joyous guest in the Daverhood a few months ago. We gotta have him back. Jackie Martling tonight at Dangerfields. John Gorka, the musician, he is playing in Boulder tonight at the Colorado's Living Room Live Theater in Boulder, Colorado. So yay to him. Andre DeShields. Now he's going to be on Broadway soon in a show called Hadestown that will be opening in just a couple of weeks. But you can see Andre DeShields' staging of Sophisticated Ladies at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark just through this weekend. Also letting you know, at Feinstein's 54 Below tomorrow, it's the Classic American Songbook series. They're doing Gershwin music, and our friend Rebecca Luker, who was on one of our Tony shows, she will be singing there. The MAC Awards are happening on March 26th, this coming week at Sony Hall, winning a Lifetime Achievement Award. Oh, Friendly is going to be very happy about this.
Friendly's at lunch.
We had to go. Well, Karen Mason is winning a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Macs that is happening this week. Also starting this week, a show called A White Man's Guide to Rikers Island. Whoa, doesn't that sound fun? A White Man's Guide to Rikers Island, directed by our recent friend Thomas G. Waits, and that is happening at the Players Theater downtown. Got to remind you that now through only April 7th, it's The Band's Visit on Broadway, a marvelous new musical with a score by our friend David Yazbek at the Barrymore Theater. Red Bull Theater is reviving John Webster's play The White Devil, featuring our friend Robert Cuccioli. That is at the Lucille Lortel.
A lot of people in the Daverhood. Some people won Tonys, right?
Yeah,
I mean, your Daverhood people are kicking butt.
Oh boy.
What?
It's an Austin Pendleton alert.
Everywhere.
Austin Pendleton alert. Now, he just got finished doing Choir Boy on Broadway.
He's done more Law and Orders than any human being, I think.
No, he just did that one that keeps cropping up. He plays that guy who is seemingly paralyzed and can't do anything.
Yes. Yeah. No, he's played a bunch.
He's great in that. He was also in the original Fiddler on the Roof. Well, Austin Pendleton is, what is he? He's directing something. He's acting. He's going from a major Broadway show called Choir Boy. Yeah. Now he's doing an off-Broadway show called Life Sucks at the Wild Project on East 3rd Street. That's what's great about him. He cares about the theater.
Yeah. He does everything.
Because he could just do movies. He could just do TV at this point. It wouldn't be a lead actor in a movie.
But that's the success. When you have success, you get to choose what you want, not based on money, but based on the art project you want to do.
He's one of those actors, though, who will do just enough TV to allow him to do theater. Wow. That's what he does.
That's so cool.
He's not like a famous Broadway actor who makes so much money that they dabble in theater. Yeah. This is the opposite. This is a theater man. Austin Pendleton, God bless him.
A TV actor dabbles in Broadway.
So, yeah, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Yeah. Ruben Santiago Hudson is doing his very, very acclaimed solo play called Lackawanna Blues at the Mark Taper Forum in Los Angeles.
Lackawanna's in Pennsylvania, right?
That's where he grew up. It's about his family life. It's playing now through mid-April at the Taper. Avi Hoffman, if you're all the way down in Florida, he's coordinating Yiddish. Who isn't? My people, yeah. Yiddishkeit at the Betsy. Perfectly in time for some. Here, I'll hold up the box. Yiddishkeit at the Betsy, which is in South Florida, co-coordinated by our friend Avi Hoffman. And then Beautiful, the Carole King musical. I think we mentioned that before. It's at the Sondheim Theater and features a book by Douglas McGrath. To Kill a Mockingbird features our friend Dakin Matthews in his very wry and enjoyable role as the judge. Danny Burstyn is playing Alfie Doolittle. I just mentioned that in My Fair Lady. He's very, very good. Hamilton has Daniel Breaker as Aaron Burr. Jim Caruso's cast party every Monday night at Birdland. We mentioned Gilbert Gottfried. He has his colossal podcast on earwolf.com. Leslie Jordan and Vicki Lawrence co-starring in the TV show The Cool Kids on Fox. Evan Seplow, the founder and editor of StageBuddy.com. Go to it for New York nightlife news and information. And
he's also a very nice guy.
Evan's great. Evan is truly a great fella. Dr. Demento, doing new and old Dr. Demento shows at drdemento.com. Eva Heinemann, just saw her at the theater last night. So great to see her. So yeah, I thought Eva was Shomer Shabbos. Yeah. She's conservative. So she does go to the theater on the weekends, but she won't ride there.
She can walk,
or she does what she does, but God bless her, love her.
Everybody in life has their own ethical practices. Who are we to judge?
Well, I have no ethics at all. I'll do anything for anything. But Eva Heinemann, she hosts High Drama on Manhattan Cable TV, our Manhattan Neighborhood Network. Charlie Gross and Leslie Hoban Blake, they co-host Two on the Aisle on alternate Thursday nights on mnn.org. Bob Cudmore doing podcasts about upstate New York history at bobcudmore.com. And Willard Manus writing about Los Angeles theater for TotalTheater.com. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. We've done so much on this episode of the Dave's Gone By show. We've had a guest. We've gone inside Broadway. We've done our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. I've been listening to Third Eye Blind. What else? What else are we?
No, you have this. You have the Sixth Sense, and you have the.
I'm the special Sixth Sense. It's like, ow! Look, I'm imitating the Three Stooges. Ow! Ow!
Honey,
Ow!
Don't hurt yourself.
Do you have a sharp stick?
No.
Anywho, but and rather appropriate since we talked to Kim Sharp in the Daverhood.
Who woke up, snoofles.
But we have one more item to do for you in the Daverhood. Gather around, bring the puppy, bring the potatoes, bring I'll lift up this a little bit so the potatoes can join us. There we go. Look at that, because it's time for story time and the final installment of our horror story. New Jersey, past and present. Yes, we've been sharing the story of New Jersey, ladies and gentlemen, for all you kids at home, talking about, and it has been a rather enjoyable book, I must say, of the horrors and the joys of the Garden State. So we're almost through. This is, I think, the fourth installment of our look at New Jersey. We're at the point where they're talking about all the famous people who were born in or who lived a certain period of time in New Jersey. In this book, by the way, it's by Joanne Mattern and part of a whole United States past and present series that includes Arizona, Oregon, Missouri, Minnesota. They don't mention Colorado for some reason, but Jersey they mention. So we've gotten to, let's see, I think we did Einstein last time. Who else? Maybe we didn't do Einstein, or maybe we saved him for this time. But Albert Einstein, 1879 to 1955, born in Germany in 1879, he revolutionized the world of science when he, what the hell did he do? We know what he did. He published his theory of relativity in 1905, basically because he had so many relatives. Einstein, who was Jewish, fled Germany in 1933 when the Nazis were rising to power, and he came and settled in Princeton, where he lived and worked until his death in 1955. Most famous physicist in the world, a man who made it possible to blow up entire cities. Kind of appropriate that he lived in New Jersey, isn't it? Anne Hathaway, the actress, not Shakespeare's Anne Hathaway, but the lovely film actress. She was born in Brooklyn. Yeah, Brooklyn represent, but grew up in Millburn, New Jersey, where the Paper Mill Playhouse is. She began acting in high school and made her first professional appearance at Paper Mill. Audiences discovered her when she starred in the Disney films The Princess Diaries and Ella Enchanted. She went on to play adult roles in such movies as Brokeback Mountain, which I've never seen, but for some reason I know that she gets naked in it. The Devil Wears Prada and Rachel Getting Married, for which she was nominated for an Academy Award. Do you know that Lauryn Hill is a Jerseyite? Born in South Orange in 1975, she still apparently lives, as of the publication of this book. Lauryn Hill still lives in...
You know who Lauryn Hill is?
Yeah, she was miseducated.
She's a Fuji.
Oh, was she? Yeah.
And she married one of the Marley boys.
Did she? Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, she worked with the band The Fugees, you're right, which included also Wyclef Jean. Is it Jean? Jean?
Jean in French, but Jean in English.
Well, he was also from South Orange. She has also performed as a solo hip-hop artist, winning 5 Grammy Awards for her album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Yeah, you would figure someone who was educated in New Jersey would be miseducated, ladies and gentlemen. No, there's a whole page in here. This is kind of cool. Devoted to New Jersey's inventors. So let's hear some of the amazing... Do you think Ron Popeil came from there?
Yes, I believe
so. I hope so. Many inventors.
He was banned from New Jersey.
Well, Edison must have worked in there because the movies, we talked about this last time, that before there was Hollywood, there was New Jersey. That's where all the movies were made. Many inventors have lived and worked in Jersey for 100 years or more. Individual people created most inventions. Samuel Morse and Alfred Vail perfected the telegraph in Morristown in 1838, working on the estate of Morse's father. How come nobody talks about Vail? How come it's not Vail code?
I don't know.
That's not fair. That's not right. What is it? It's like the 2 Facebook guys. Everybody knows one of the Facebook guys, and the other has sued to get recognition. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Robert Johnson and George Seabury invented the first adhesive bandage in 1870. So you love Band-Aids, son.
I do love it.
The Band-Aid was founded in New Jersey, rather appropriately, wasn't it? Yeah. John Holland, it should have invented the gas mask too. John Holland invented the first practical submarine in 1878. It ran on gasoline above the water and electricity under the water.
Wow.
How brilliant is that? Where do you find a plug?
I have no idea.
They're plugging into a mollusk or something. New Jersey's most famous inventor is undoubtedly Thomas Alva Edison. Although he was born in Ohio, he did most of his work in laboratories in West Orange and, of course, Menlo Park. He patented more than 1,000 inventions during his lifetime. Some of the most noteworthy included the phonograph in 1877 and the incandescent light bulb in 1879. Did you realize that the phonograph came before the light bulb?
No.
How?
I don't know.
How did he work if he didn't have light to build a phonograph?
They only listen to records during the day.
Yeah, that could be it.
At night, go to sleep.
Edison also invented the first electric power plant so that homes and businesses could receive electric current. In the 1900s, Jersey continued to be an important invention center. Yet fewer inventions were credited to individuals. Corporations ended up patenting them. Anywho, Bell Laboratories invented the transistor. Bell Labs was responsible for the first telecommunications satellite back in 1962. Color television, that's what we're doing here, folks, developed in Jersey also thanks to RCA and Princeton Labs. And today, Jersey's large companies and labs have teams of employees to invent, develop, test, and market their products. It takes a lot of money to invent or to produce a new drug or technology. So they keep saying about how there's no such thing as one inventor anymore. They keep hammering this home. I don't know why. Even if one person is responsible for a new idea, he or she often sells the rights to a corporation to develop and market it. With the support of their companies, today's innovative New Jerseyans are developing new products in high-speed communications, computer technology, energy ag, disease detection, and more. The state's pharmaceutical companies, such as Merck and Bristol Myers Squibb, develop new medicines every year. And they're so cheap. In Jersey, as in the rest of the world, inventions have become big business. Let's get back to some of the folks, the people who have come from beautiful, sensual New Jersey. For example, the Jonas Brothers. Joe, Kevin, and Nick grew up in Wyckoff. Kevin started performing on Broadway as a child. He teamed up with his brothers to be the Jonas Brothers. They have played to sold-out audiences all over the world and regularly appear on the Disney Channel. Jonathan Stewart Leibowitz. Rabbi Saul will be interested in this. Who is Jonathan Stewart Leibowitz? John Lovitz, maybe? Better known by his professional name, Jon Stewart. Yeah, this comedian was born in New York in '62, but grew up and attended high school in Lawrenceville. After years playing comedy clubs in the New York area, he rose to national fame as host of The Daily Show, blending humor with top news stories and politics. Stewart has also hosted the Academy Awards and written several best-selling books. Cartoonist Thomas Nast. It's going to be interesting how they mix people that, readers of this would have actually heard of, and like political cartoonist Thomas Nast, who died in 1902. Oh, wow. He was German-born in 1840. He worked for New York newspapers, but became one of the most influential cartoonists of the 19th century, and he was credited with created what image that we recognize today?
Oh, your butt?
No.
I don't know.
The only way to get my butt image is by photocopying it, as I tend to do.
I don't know, honey. Tell me.
Santa Claus. He drew the famed Santa Claus that we know of.
That's why he's important, right?
Yeah. He lived in Morristown until his death in 1902. Oh. What about Dana Owens? Who?
Oh, Queen Latifah.
You know that. Yes, Queen Latifah. Or as we call her,
first.
Teen Laquifa.
Ladies first.
Born in Newark, grew up in Irvington and Wayne.
Ladies first.
Yeah. She became one of the first female rap stars, projecting the image of a powerful, confident woman, as I do.
She was great. No, you're not that confident as a woman.
And she was in the film musical of Chicago. She was really great in that.
She was the matron.
Yeah. Mama Morton, yeah.
The matron.
Dwayne Charles Bill Parcells, born in Englewood, one of professional football's most influential coaches. He coached the New York Giants for about a decade, and then the Jets from 97 to 99. Both teams play in New Jersey. He led the Giants to 2 Super Bowls, the Patriots to 1 Super Bowl. He also worked with the Cowboys and the Miami Dolphins. Who is, of course, the most famous son of all of New Jersey?
Bruce Springsteen.
For the modern audience.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yes, Bruce and, because we have a picture of Bruce here.
Chris Christie.
No, not the biggest personality.
I don't know.
One of the most important singers of all time.
Oh, Frank Sinatra.
Sinatra, Hoboken, of course.
Yes. You get the hoe in Hoboken.
Yeah, if you run over a prostitute, Hoboken. So he was born in 1915, became one of the most popular singers in U.S. history. He won an Academy Award for playing a soldier in From Here to Eternity, and his career lasted right through the 1990s until his death in 98. How old was he when
he died, you know?
1915 to 98. He lasted pretty long, about 80-something years, I guess that would be. And then Bruce Springsteen, as you said, a New Jersey native, major rock and roll figure.
Yeah.
Born in Freehold in 1949. Yeah, and he lived in New Jersey for most of his life. Mm-hmm. His musical career began in nightclubs in the shores of the town of Asbury Park. His first album, Greeting from Asbury Park, New Jersey. And much of his music reflects his working class New Jersey background. And then one more, an actor from New Jersey. When you were younger, the actor who made you tingle the most, the actor who got your proverbial juices flowing.
Oh, yeah?
No. Oh, you still like him, huh? Mm.
I
No.
don't know. Hawken Lee? Hawken Lee was born in New Jersey? Oh.
No, come on.
I don't know. Oh, John Travolta.
John Travolta, Jersey born. Where was he?
Really?
Born in Englewood,
I thought he was
1954.
born in Brooklyn.
Grew up in New York City, but a Jersey-born fellow. He was in Welcome Back, Kotter, Saturday Night Fever, and he was in the remakes of, or not, he was in Hairspray and in the remake of Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3, and he was in the character Bolt in the animated movie of the same name. They made an animated Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3.
No, Bolt. Maybe it's about a bus. Bolt bus takes you.
Oh, Bolt of the. Oh, I got it.
Bolt takes you from Philly to New York.
Got it. So let's go over a timeline really quickly because this is kind of the back end of the book here. There's a timeline. Jersey began in 10,000 BCE. God created New York and said, where do I put all the crap? I left all the good stuff in let me make New Jersey. But the first Native Americans arrived in New Jersey around 10,000 BCE.
Was it called New Jersey?
I don't know what they called it. In 1524. So there's kind of a gap there. There's about a 1,524 year gap.
What happened during that time in Jersey?
Giovanni di Verrazzano became the first European to go up the Jersey coast. Hudson came in 1600.
Oh.
And then in 1618, Dutch settlers set up a trading post there. England took over in the mid-1600s.
England always took over.
1702, East and West Jersey are united into one colony. So I guess they knocked the wall down. Cool, okay. In 1790, Trenton became the capital. The light bulb invented in 1879. 1967, riots in Newark killed 26 people and caused $10 million in damage. When was legalized gambling in Atlantic City? 77. Very good. Yeah, it was that recent. And in 2007, New Jersey lawmakers repealed the death penalty in that state. Here we go. And here comes the fun stuff. All right, are you ready? The state motto, liberty and prosperity. State flower is the common violet. State animal is the horsey. State insect is the honeybee. The state dinosaur, I'll bet you know this one, is the Hadrosaurus fulci. Wait, no, really? So the Hadrosaurus fulci is the state dinosaur. So get down to the Jersey Museum of Natural History and go see yourself a fulci while it's still there. The state fruit is the blueberry, and the state shell is the knobbed whelk. That's great. The knobbed whelk is the state shell of New Jersey. I love it. This was given statehood in 1787. It's got 8,000 square miles, so it's very small. It's the 47th largest state with a population as of 2000 of 8.4 million people. Coldest temperature ever recorded in New Jersey was 34 degrees below zero at Rivervale in 1904. What else? Last thing. There's one more page of these because these are kind of fun. They have a glossary. They have a glossary. Anything good here? A gorge is a deep valley with steep rocky sides. Are you getting all this, Potato? Oh, he likes more story sort of fiction. Maybe I'll do next week when we go back to story time, more of a fictional story time kind of book. Well, we'll end this look at New Jersey past and present with the glossary term for petrochemical, rather appropriate. A chemical derived from petroleum or natural gas. Examples are gasoline and kerosene. Well, we thank so much Joanne Mattern for giving us a book to read the past 4 weeks. The United States past and present, New Jersey. Ah, yes, we've made it through the horror. Well, there's no horror here. There's absolute joy in being able to do the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the Streamio on this program, on this Facebook channel. Remember that you can just scroll down my Facebook page for the past year or so and watch all these shows, because we've been on video now almost a year and a half, and we've saved all these videos. So if you missed one, if you want to go back and watch one again, you can just scroll right down the Facebook page and watch anytime you want to. Or if you don't want to deal with Facebook, and sometimes when you go, you click more, starts taking forever, just go to my website, davesgoneby.com. Because not only do we have the video files for the past year and a half, we've got the audio files since the show began. Plus there's photos of the show, and there's information about the show, and a separate archive of interviews. Go surf around, davesgoneby.com. And if you want to get in touch with me, remember that davesgoneby@aol.com is the way to do that. davesgoneby@aol.com is the email address. And of course, you can simply message me right here on Facebook right now during the show, or anytime all week long at this website, Facebook.com/Radio Dave Lefkowitz. Tell your friends, we want to build up our listenership all week long, and especially on Saturday mornings. We want to build this program to the next level, maybe bring it other places and figure out a way to syndicate it more. The way to do that is to prove that people are watching and enjoying. So tell your friends, and then when we come on Saturday, we can't reach everybody. We can invite a couple of friends from our friends list, and we hope that it pops up on friends' feeds, but it doesn't necessarily. The way to tell folks about the show is to tell them and to remind them Saturday mornings, hey, check out Dave's Gone By Live on Facebook, or watch the archives at davesgoneby.com or on Facebook all week long. Well, let me thank you all for watching. Let me thank my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, for joining me for the first part of and middle part of the show as well. Love her dearly, and happy upcoming 21st anniversary to my beloved Joyce. Really just an honor and a wonder to have her in my life and on the show. Speaking of being on the show, thank you to Kim T. Sharp for being our guest in the Daverhood. Remember, one last time, you can go see this weekend his direction of the play, The Death of a Driver. Death of a Driver at Urban Stages in Manhattan. And also starting at the end of the month and playing through mid-April, The Way We Got Here. I'm hoping I'm not butchering the names of these things. Yeah, the way we get by, excuse me. And that is running at Urban Stages. You can get tickets at brownpapertickets.com. We thank so much for Kim T. Sharp being with us. We thank also Scotty Rhodes for setting up that interview, and she did it really at the very, very last minute. We're extremely grateful. Thank you to Rabbi Saul Solomon for doing that interview. You can find out more about him at shalomdammit.com. Shalom, D-A-M-M-I-T, shalomdammit.com. That is the place to read all his rabbinical reflections. You can watch that TV show I mentioned that he did a few years ago, and even his one-man show that he did off Broadway, shalomdammit.com. Well, it just remains for me. I can't believe all these people are now tuning in, and the show has like 2 minutes left to go. But thank you, David from my high school, and Ian, and Wayne, and Martin, and George, and all these folks who've been tuning in and watching all morning. It's really great to see you. And as I said, you missed the show, go back and watch it. It'll be saved on Facebook within hopefully a few hours. But have a great week. Happy springtime to you all. Happy post-Purim to you all. And I'm very excited. I don't want to give this away necessarily because it hasn't happened yet. And I always, what they say and what my people say is I don't want to give a kanina hura. But we have an amazing guest, hopefully, and Jews shouldn't really be crossing their fingers anyway. But we have a fabulous guest, very almost definitely lined up for next week. I'm not going to say the name. I'm not going to jinx it like that. I'm not going to give it the evil eye, and then something will fall out and it won't happen and it'll be a problem. We're hoping it work out because this person is has been playing. He is a musical figure for the past 40 years now. I saw him in concert live, 15 years ago. I wish I could see him again, but I think he's going to be playing in Colorado, where I won't be. But he's been touring, and he tours quite a bit. He also puts out quite a bit of music. His archives stretch back now, and he's re-released a bunch of his archives. I'm going to give it away. I'll give you the initials of the guest who will be on the show next week. R.H. R.H. are the initials. And we're going to go out by playing just a bit of his music, as much as Facebook will let us play before giving us a warning. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to want to miss next week's show. And we'll be here 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time in the Long Island Daverhood. Oh, wait, there's an urgent breaking thing. Ha! See, I don't have to end the show. Tell me. What's up? You're going to have to explain this. Do you want to talk about... My wife has a thing. I don't know why. I have absolutely nothing except jealousy against Lin-Manuel Miranda, the guy who created In the Heights and, of course, Hamilton. He's brilliant. He's probably a genius and seems like a really nice guy. But for some reason, my wife has this, just hates him. Maybe it's because she's jealous too, and she wishes I had his life and his career and his musicals on Broadway. I don't know what it is, but the thing is, you can't, and I understand this, you can't go anywhere without reading about Lin-Manuel. He's showing up here. He's going to be there. He's doing this. He thought this about this. He's literally like the go-to person for everything in the universe. You can't read a story about the arts, or sometimes not even about the arts, without it mentioning Lin-Manuel Miranda. Well, she opens up Newsday today, the Long Island newspaper. She's flipping through it, and there he is. There he is. But look what he's doing. He's working with kids. He's a good guy. And yet, I don't know, my wife just has these issues with, look, Lin-Manuel, you are invited and more than welcome to be in the Daverhood on Dave's Gone By anytime, even though I can't get in to see your damn show. I still haven't seen Hamilton. I've heard the cast album. But anyway, nothing against you, but certainly everything for our guest next week, R.H. So let's go out playing a song by him, and hopefully we'll be able to play a few more next time, next Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, for the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Programmio, Podcastio radio show of the stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz. Have a great week. Happy springtime. He's the man who invented himself and gone by. Right, I have to kill the song so that that Facebook and YouTube don't kill me. But yeah, him, most likely, next Saturday, talking to Rabbi Saul Solomon in the Daverhood. Be there! Gotta be there! And gone by.